I'ma just chill and watch them and eat snacks in the attic. I wanted to chill with the pack and be like a young whoop, but then they would mistake me for addict. If I can imagine it's cool to give you some advice, then invite your girl to your squadron. Cause if you don't give her that option, you gon' be single player like Sovereign. You gon' get tossed in the bushes by King David. Royalty and not a pretender. Detrimental to an elemental, what's an avatar to a knee bender? I gotta be me though. I know it's my destiny, word to Cognito. Who cares if you fly, if you still a mosquito? You swear you ain't stuntin', but really be Steve-O. You like to collect stuff and that's cool, but I got bad news. Even if you really was that dude, King David still be the king of the statues. Since a juvenile, I've been cursed with a curse to be musical. And if you hate it, we'll meet in the crucible. Other than that, then it's cool and it's beautiful. We let you know that your dreams are pursuable. Whatever you wanna do, then it's doable. If you got work on a Sunday, it's suitable. Cause you can listen to this in your cubicle on the Lord's Day. If you got work on a Sunday, it's suitable. Cause you can listen to this in your cubicle on the Lord's Day.
Just don't want you saying it now because the mics are hot. We respect you. We respect you. Just the mics are hot. Yeah. All right. There we go.
There's a time and a place, and the time's not now.
Yo, I just finished watching Old Dads, and I just feel like that dude in Old Dads, man. I feel like him, man. I'm a man out of place. I'm Captain America, boy.
So where should I start the intros? We intro it again. What we do?
I never got mine.
Oh, that's true.
And I'm in the middle of mine. Let's just start again.
All right. Welcome. This is brand new to the ILP podcast. We never do this before.
We just got
here. Hey, y'all. Episode number 328. It's another glorious Sunday. We're back at the round table on the Lord's Day. And today we've got Alan Wake 2 impressions. For those who actually played the game. ConnieBooth firing and PlayStation Studios turmoil. Xbox Partner Showcase and PS5 Slim internet connection requirement to discuss.
That makes me laugh every time. I'm so sorry.
So we are going to get right into it. So let's introduce the four horsemen of gaming. Those original knights of the realm here at the round table. My co-host, the co-most, my brother from another mother, the difficult game conqueror, lord of his own world, and the how of the young wolf. My man, Lord Attic, back to back. Nah, he got it. How we doing, sir?
So what's going on, guys? That's all you're getting today.
I feel you.
I ain't doing it again.
I feel you. Going, but I know my brother's under the weather. Send him some love because I know he's not feeling well. He's not been feeling well. So we appreciate you holding me down.
Yo, tell me why wifey texted me and said, "What the hell you got on?"
Yeah, that's what I said. I thought, like, why you got a robe on?
He said, I was like, y'all was roasting me in the background. I said, no, this is my Jason costume. It's my Dickie suit. Let me get my Michael Myers and Jason. Oh, y'all hating.
No doubt. And of course, we have our most technical gaming lord, the solo gamer who lives for the single player selfish experience. And also the Sastradamus, the Lord of Clarity and Lord Patreon of the Iron Bank. PC Master Race's own Lord Sovereign. How we doing, sir?
Doing good. I absolutely did not say this before, but I will say it for the first time now. I'm doing good. Mario Wonder's great. The seed
sound horrible, sir. sound like we on a sick cast.
Really? I sound bad?
You sound just like me, bro. Don't even get
really?
over. Yes, hi.
Yeah, something around.
We gotta have what's that dude that likes you playing my joystick?
Whoa.
Yeah, he can answer that. You sound sour.
Whoa.
I mean, maybe just maybe. Maybe my voice is just going through a change, you know what I mean? That's what
you are not going through puberty. You only get one of those. Cut that out.
Do a second childhood. There we go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, like I said, Mario Wonder is great, continues to be great, and just surprises me at every turn. Mm-hmm. Alan, we'll talk about Alan Wake. Did not really get to do much at all with Alan Wake, so we'll talk about what we think Alan Wake
We-
could be.
Our perception of Alan Wake.
Perception of
This is his topic, though.
It's my topic.
It is
and
funny.
and I told wife, she was like, and I was like, all right,
shut that
bet.
down. She
It's
shut
just
that
one of
down.
those. It's one of those.
It's all good.
And then Spider-Man, right? I finally got. I did play a little bit of Spider-Man because part of it was also that she was disgusted by Alan Wake, and that could not be played in her presence.
Based on opening scenes, I heard.
Based on opening scenes with men and buttocks and
Yes, very
coming out of,
Terminator-ish.
yeah, coming out of a lake. It's not good.
Us.
So yeah, but Spider-Man, like I said, I haven't had the issues that other people have had yet. Everything that I played so far, but I'm not super far in. Just kind of bouncing back and forth between Miles and Peter, doing some of their story stuff. The most fun thing is just going around the world, man. Like again, that world, playing that game on fidelity mode with 120 hertz on,
Beautiful.
and the
Yep.
VR on is really a sight to behold. I think the colors really pop a lot more than the first game, and just the city feels so much more alive. The density of the world, when you take into account all the ray tracing stuff, and it's a beautiful game, and it's running well so far. So I know they've patched it at least once or twice since it launched.
They patched that thing 7 times, bro.
So maybe that has helped that I haven't seen any of that stuff, but and fingers crossed that I don't. So I'm enjoying my time with that, and hopefully get to play Alan Wake this week at some point.
Shout out to wifey, shut that down.
Oh,
Yeah.
and of course, shout out on the nuptials.
Oh yeah, bro. I'll talk about
To
it.
Lord Colin,
Yeah.
Lady Micah.
The royal
Fortunately,
wedding.
I was not able to be there to celebrate with y'all, but the pictures that I did see seemed like a joyous occasion. Shout out to both of you guys. Congrats.
Much love. Yeah, it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. You were asked about a lot. I
appreciate that.
Yeah, what's going on? And then Gene told all of us that he's looking to join us at the New York Game Awards. So he will be there with
wonderful,
Harold
yes.
and crew. So
Yes.
January.
Yes.
So yeah, I know he's going through his treatments and stuff. And
Yes.
shout out to Hogue. Those
Shout out
two
to Gene.
for them two to make it. Especially even
Yes.
by myself with the year I've had, right? It's just we had like a medical community. We like, yo, so happy to see you.
Like a
you've
mini
been through
triage,
yeah,
right?
we like, yo, you've been in the ER. Yo, I've been in the ER.
Yeah,
it was dope.
That's something, to see all you guys there, celebrating with them. It's been a tough year, man.
Yeah.
To see Hogue up and about,
Oh,
obviously,
the stories.
Gene, just recently hearing a little bit more bad news, but again, he's on his spirits are high. He's gonna do what he's done since the beginning and keep fighting.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So
Facts. Salute to Gene, no doubt. And of course, we have the incredible Hulk of this, aka the XS Gamer,
Ooh.
the prophet of Xbox.
Swami.
King of the statues, who demands nothing less than that premium experience and is the leader of the advanced align movement. Ooh, beloved Lord King, how we doing?
I'm doing better than a lot of you Francis Ngannou fans.
We doing that? I heard he beat that boy.
You heard wrong, bro. Like, you know what it is?
I gotta see this for myself.
I gotta see this for myself. This might be boxing bias, but let's hear it out.
All right, so a lot of these dudes. Remember when Floyd got in a fight with Madonna, and Madonna got a couple of hits off him, and dudes was like, "Yo, he won, bro! He won, bro!"
I mean,
you know,
I
he
see
won,
someone
Why did
size 15s on the floor.
I thought you said he got into a fight with Madonna.
Nah,
I was like,
yo, you
why is
see.
he beating on Madonna? When did this happen? My Donna.
Yeah, so and then when Tank fought Pitbull Cruz, oh man, yo, Pitbull won, man, he won. Oh, so it's like when you got somebody that's supposed to beat somebody, and if that person does good in any form of fashion, oh, he won, bro.
That's what it was.
Yo, you MMA dudes is so funny. It's hilarious about y'all because y'all want that boxing beat so bad. Whoa. Y'all want to win that fight so bad. So listen,
feet was in the air, kid.
so check. Okay, a knockdown don't constitute a win.
I mean, but he the
All right,
heavyweight.
but
He's supposed to be in the mix with son.
Right. See, but that's the mentality right there.
Okay.
You don't see the jab snapping this dude head back the whole night. The whole night, this dude head is like, yes, sir, yes, sir. I would like 2, please. And he's catching the 1, 2. He's catching the left, right.
Ngannou's not used to having his head on a swivel. Like he's not. Yeah, he's standing in front of you trying to knock you out.
So you have the community of the MMA dudes like, he ain't supposed to go 12 rounds with the champ, boy. He's not supposed to do that. He went 10 rounds. They made it a 10-round fight. He went 10 rounds with the champ. No belt was on the line. The dude, yo, I'm not making no excuses. The dude did not. He ain't take this dude serious. And the dude when the dude dropped him, because he dropped him.
You see the drop, right? Him. You see Saul? You see it? You see it? Yeah.
And then Fury hit him with the elbow.
Then Fury started doing MMA moves.
Yeah, Fury said, you gonna catch that MMA elbow. You gonna catch that. All right, listen. Y'all got a minor victory in your heart because y'all was looking for this victory with Conor McGregor. Y'all was like, well, at least Conor gonna go 12 rounds with Floyd. Floyd said, up out of here. This is the greatest. Floyd said, we're gonna get him up out of here. Yeah. Tyson Fury said, I'm going 12 rounds with this bull. He ain't getting no more lucky shots. We gonna jab his head back. And I had these dudes in my DM talk about, yo, they robbed him. No, you got robbed. Learn how to score a fight. And you know, yo, the most I can give Francis Ngannou is 7. Tyson Fury got 7 rounds to 3. And it was like I said, it was gonna be a boring fight. You're gonna have mad MMA dudes out here cheering it on. I had this one dude where I work talk about he's like, yeah, I'm going for Francis. I said, you only going for him because you're Nigerian. And he was like, yo, so he goes, yes, I am. That's why. He said, and you should too. I said, I'm not, because I'm not gonna waste my money. So I said, how about you bet $200? He said, you know what? I'm a bet $200, King. I said, that's stupid. I said, don't bet $200. I said, he is not going to win. I said, he's going to get beat, and Tyson Fury's going to train for his real fight later. I said, but this is just a sideshow. This was fun to get a check in your man's hand. Be happy your man getting a check. So for all you Francis Ngannou fans out there, be happy your man got a check. Dana White wasn't paying him. He made a good count of himself. But if he fight Deontay Wilder, because I heard a lot of you dudes say he'll do well with Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder will punch his head square off his body. So let's leave that alone. Let's stop acting like he the next dude. Oh, Mike Tyson trainer. Mike Tyson see greatness. No, he didn't. Mike Tyson saw a check like I did.
So disrespectful. So disrespectful. Real quick, we got this interruption. One quick shout out to Jez going to the chat, gifted 10 Iron Lord memberships. Yo, and membership in the chat. Jez called it Windows Central.
Shout out to Jez.
What up, Jez?
Appreciate you, brother.
I like that little boy. I love that.
Very proper, very posh, very posh.
So what I'm playing right now, I'm playing Mario Wonder. This is the wildest slate of games that I'm playing all at one time. Dead Space remake. Shout out to Game Pass for letting me eat.
Nice.
Assassin's Creed Mirage. Fortnite.
That's what
I went back to play the racing game.
Forza?
No, not the Forza.
The Crew?
The Crew. I went back to the Crew because they had added something in there, and I had to go check it to make sure that it was right. And it does run better because they had an update and some other stuff to it. And I was like, oh, yo. So I went back to that. And then I'm playing Spider-Man. All right, so I got the code for Alan Wake. I said, okay, let me install that. While I'm installing that, let me get to Spider-Man. Let me finish this game since they said it's the 5 to 8 hours. First of all, you dudes are liars. Your dudes are liars. This game ain't no 5 to 8 hours. I literally played this game 8 to 10 hours straight, hardcore. Nah, I'm at a place in the game though where hopefully I'm about to see the end of the game. I'm at the end game part of the game, and I'm fighting the final form of the final boss. So I think, right? I'm in love with these characters. I've been in love with comic books my whole life. These journeys have taken me to different places, and I encapsulate all 3 stories how they're supposed to be. All 3 stories is absolute love. I love this last story. This last story is impeccable. The problems with the bugs is a problem, right? And I counted another bug, and this is the bike bug. If anybody's gotten the bike bug where the front of the bike is in the ground and it's on a timer part, it's disheartening. And then I got to another bug where somebody said, I think it was Amazing Lucas said it, you had to do a move is a prompt. And I know this is the same place because it led me to the same frustration. I had to reload from that checkpoint there because it absolutely crashed it. The game would not continue. The screen was frozen and the music was still playing. It was just horrible at that point. But again, I like how they put all the pieces to the puzzle of the story together. And I want to say to people that feel like they lost characters, oh, you know, this character's dead and that character's dead and they're shrinking the world. No, this is a story. In comic books, they tell stories. So this is not the end of, let's say, one of the villains who died. This is just a story. And then when they tell a story again, that's why they reset a lot. Your character be back. So this is not, you know, it's not real life. I see a lot of people complain about that, that Insomniac is killing off characters in this world. This world is not going to live in perpetuity. They're going to start over and do another game. It's going to be another Spider-Man. It's going to be another thing. So the game is fantastic. It does stay at an 8 for me because the bugs keep removing me from the enjoyment. But the story,
so good.
Insomniac is... Oh man, I love their story, right? And then it's really good. I hate the Mary Jane missions, by the way. Other than that,
I heard she OP crazy.
No, this is just stupid. Get it out of the game. It felt like Last of Us gimped.
Yeah, like, I heard because so she got a little more gangster she learned from Silver Sable, right? Like apparently, like so that's what I heard. It was like, oh, it's better. He's like, nah, still, he's just taking it out of the game.
It's
I hear you.
It's Last of Us gimped. Like you don't have all the weapons or whatever. And I know it's not made to be like that. She's supposed to feel weak and helpless in that moment because you're so omnipotent with the Spideys, right? So it's supposed to ground you into how it feels to being a human dealing with the hunters or whatever else that she's dealing with. But at the moment, though, I can't stand her face and I can't stand her. So the character itself is an annoyance, her face is an annoyance, and the mode is an annoyance. And it should be optional to skip her stuff because it leads to absolutely nothing in the game.
Fair enough. A lot of people spoke out. Looked like the developer tried to, I think he doubled down, was like, we don't give a F.
I know he don't.
Yeah, I was like, yo, I never seen
that's
that
why,
before.
but the sales reflected though.
Oh, damn. Here we go.
Yeah, y'all didn't do 2.4 million, but we're going to get to that when I get to my section.
Oh, my.
We're going to talk about what y'all really doing out here.
That's not part of the discussion today. He's going to move on. Of course.
Next time, listen to us.
We have the gaming ninja himself, the Shinobi, LordCognito, spread that rules to the room, the ILP. I'll tell you what you want to hear, what you need to hear. Shout out to Lord Collins. Shout out to Mama Micah, the royal wedding. You know what I'm saying? I'm fresh off the plane. It was fantastic. So many people I got a chance to see. And, you know, we talked earlier, just seeing, you know, Hogue and Gene Park. And, you know what I'm saying?
What about your look, though, bro?
I mean, you know, we had the corporate
your look, though,
we had the corporate cog, that situation. You know what I'm saying? I had to
keep it gangsters. Keep it gangsters.
You know what I'm saying? We had to. I had been doing little gangster moves on the dance floor.
Yeah, you needed to turn. You take off the jacket and roll up the sleeve.
Oh, see, that's too much. I didn't want to kill him like that. I didn't want to kill him like that. It wasn't ready.
Let me ask you a question. So, did you walk that? You was part of the groom?
No, I wasn't part of the home. Yeah,
so you didn't get to walk down the aisle and
I watched.
Do your strut? Hey. Wait, so we ain't got no dance floor footage. You just
there is dance floor footage of me. There is dance floor footage of me because what it is that after the corporate cog wine was flowing,
right,
and then it was a couple people. Then songs started coming on. They started grabbing me up. It was like, "Come on, Cog, let's go!"
Wait. What was your song? What was your song though?
They had they had limited selection for a person like me. You know what I'm saying?
So chocolate.
No electric slide.
I mean, the best I could give y'all was a little John turned down for what? I was like, okay, I know that one. I know that one. You know what I'm saying? I was like, they had a little Usher. What is it? Was it? Yeah. That one. You know, the typical wedding joint.
So, Air Force Ones, you had a little bit Nelly. And then you had some Andre 3000.
You know, we did not have that.
No NWA, none of that.
No, they had your Backstreet Boys for you. They had that.
Okay. Oh yeah. Yes.
Backstreet,
the only one.
The one where they, everybody. That one,
that of course, that's at every wedding.
Everybody. Backstreet Boys right. That one.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, that's the
Y'all-
next song.
So wait a second, y'all didn't do a line. Y'all didn't get the
No
whole team
electric
together.
slide?
Nah, but I will say there was a couple
Wow.
of females in there that was that was a little extra lit when certain songs came on. I was like, oh, that's her song. That's her
My
song.
neck, my back.
Nah, they was not playing that. Moving on. Shout out to Colin Moriarty. The Moriartys doing their thing, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the whole LSM fam, everybody. Dustin, again, Maddie and Chris, we missed you. And but it was definitely a corporate card kind of affair. It was very cool, very pleasant, very
Put it down for ILP. That's my guy.
no doubt, you already know. And yeah, that's been pretty much me as far as gaming. Not much because I've been traveling. So Starfield on the go all day, every day, close to working on my 1,000, my gamer score on the new Game Plus. So I'm rocking all that. And then a little bit of Jesse Season Lost with the Halloween joint. And that's been pretty much it. So you want to get these super chats, sir?
Yeah, it was funny. I tried to jump in. I said, let me hit this tech invader, see if it's still around. Yo, it shut me down. He was like, this does not exist.
yeah, they shut that down. What else we got?
All right, we got Hindsight with Hustle, member for 22
right.
months, Lord
That's the
Bronze.
man.
What's good, y'all? What up, Hustle? What up?
Blessings.
Then we got David Hotright, member for 24 months, Lord Silver. Happy Lord's Day. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Salute.
Then we have My Name is Mud, $5 super chat. How about those reaching hard with the lack of Xbox reviews on Metacritic for Alan Wake 2? Have they not paid attention to every third-party review? I didn't realize that there weren't any specific sort of Xbox reviews. It was mostly PlayStation, I guess PC. Yeah, right. Then we're like as Cog said, welcome to the realm, Lord Jez Corden, Lord Bronze. Shout out for gifting 10 ILP memberships. And then he also sent a £5 super chat. What's this? Shout out to you, Jez.
Salute, Jazz. Appreciate you, brother.
Let's put the crest in the chat for Midnight Druid for gifting 5 ILP memberships. Appreciate that.
Salute.
And we got Gerald Mack, the homie, also gifting 5 ILP memberships. Let's put the crest in the chat for him.
Yeah.
And that's it. We are caught up for now.
We got a lot of Patreon questions, so we got to get going.
Let's get it.
Vito, can't pronounce your name. Shiramonte. I'm going to say that's what I think it is. he said, well,
that's what I think it is.
That's what I think it is. Apologies if I butchered it. Well, probably be covered anyway. But any personal experiences or thoughts with Sarah as I think that's as the head of Xbox would be cool. Only recently watching Xbox content regularly. I don't know anything about the history. So he wants to know how we feel about Sarah Bond being the head of Xbox, and then just about, the history of Xbox in general with us. So we want to set it off, Sav. I don't know if Alex is away for something.
I mean, we'll talk about it later, I guess. So might as well just talk about it now.
Yeah,
But it's important. It's important. It is kind of a historical moment, right?
Yes,
First time we have a woman, and specifically a woman of color, at the helm of a major first party. She's in charge of everything now when it comes to the hardware side moving forward. And then Matt Booty, obviously, on the Bethesda ZeniMax side. So this is very important. As I've stated in the past, I wish we lived in a world where it wasn't important, where this would be the 100th time we've seen this happen, but it's not, unfortunately. So it needs to be acknowledged. It needs to be celebrated. And she's worked very hard to sort of be in this position. This is something kind of that the entire community saw coming in some way, shape, or form. It allows Phil to move, kind of handle more of the broader scope of the business, right?
And the marketing budget now.
And the marketing, exactly.
You're done.
You crazy.
So it's definitely an important thing. Shout out to her, shout out to Matt. But it is congratulations to them, and it's a very, very important moment in the history of gaming because it has not happened before.
True.
And it's not over, baby. It's like, if you looked at the list, it was 50% of them were women, right? So, and it was the people that held the line. Yeah. Like I told y'all dudes before, he went around the table, at the end, we sitting there, we are part of a team. Y'all know that scene with the famous scene with the baseball bat. and on this team, we were raw camaraderie, right? And, she held it down. Matt held it down. Everybody held it down. The people that haven't held it down are out. Bobby definitely out. Hines is definitely out. Once the emails came out, and they was like, "Oh, so you're a confidential informant."
Oh, come on. Don't do feet like don't do Uncle Feet like
You
that.
sympathizing with the other side, there,
Come on,
huh?
don't do Uncle Feet like that.
Nah, we're gonna do them just like
Nah,
that.
son, that's a legend. Be respectful.
You're legendary flogged in the street. You got to get up out of here.
Ridiculous.
It's cool. Go work for them. But
Ridiculous.
I love the fact that, you know, to be honest with you, those people, because all her conversation or her stance around it was, we don't give up.
Yeah.
We fight all the way to the last breath. And that's the person that you want in charge of something in your team. That's the people that you want in that foxhole that you look over to. You want those people that is going to fight with every utensil. You know, I wasn't surprised with Matt getting the raise that he got, you know, and where he's at, because his mentality is kill or be killed. And I know people say, you know, King, stop using warlike terms when it comes to things. This corporate stuff is serious. You talk about $1 trillion companies, and a lot of their bonuses is tied to performance. All right, so that's the incentive that you get, like on any football team or squad-based team. A lot of their contracts is tied to performance. Satya's, you know, contract as far as certain things on Game Pass is tied to performance and growth. And I saw people laughing at the fact that they didn't reach the internal numbers of 78% in growth that they wanted, and they only reached 28%. What type of animal does you think that makes him to reach that 78%? You really have to think about the mentality of the individual who is incentivized by winning. These individuals are incentivized by winning. So she gets this great promotion because this deal goes through and her efforts were rewarded.
She did a thing in the ABK.
Right?
Too. Yeah.
So you got to look at it. You got to see it for what it is. So now that they got a taste of victory and winning, this makes them a greater beast going forward. And his wins are not going to stop. So allowing Phil to have the ability to give all these guys the marketing budget to do stuff, and y'all asked all the time, when is Microsoft going to start marketing to my regions? I see a lot of buses driving around with Starfield on it. So remember, this win, as far as her win too, but I'm talking about the whole team that was on that list that got promotions and everything got reconfigured, and it's showing their appreciations for the people that was in the struggle, holding the line and now advancing the line forward. I salute you guys for definitely being what we asked y'all to be. And all y'all dudes that said, all I want with Microsoft is to be better and compete. Now what's up?
I feel you. Yeah, look, I mean, I'm going to add on to what you said, and let's Alex back. Yeah, I think it's she worked extremely hard. It's a huge deal. As far as, you know, obviously I've had the pleasure of meeting the queen a few times and taking some pictures. And yeah, I love her energy. It's her passion for gaming speaks for itself, especially with Sega and Japanese games. I sense the passion there. I think it's an inspiration for young black girls to see that, especially in gaming, when you don't see a lot of women of color, black women specifically, you know, in roles like that. I think it's important. But more importantly, she's qualified for the role and she's put in the work. So that's what it's about to be. And I think what you said, King, resonates because I think this is all part of the ABK transitioning and inclusion, so that hopefully that everyone has clear cut roles. Now, Booty's going to have also Bethesda and ZeniMax, the head of them, report to him. So what I'm looking at is this eliminates potentially Redfall situations where you don't know what's going on over there because you were just isolated over here kind of thing. And I think that's going to be important for ABK because, you know, the real work starts now. They've got all these studios. They got all these major franchises. It's a lot of work ahead. But I think maybe to what you're saying, Phil and them had this plan as far as rewarding and having a new infrastructure going forward. So salute to them. I think that's dope. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Unless Addict's back. I think he's still, because he's not feeling well. I'll move on to the next one. Stitch. He says, let's talk about it. Once again, we can clearly see how the media is afraid to talk bad about Sony games. Do you all think the reviews for No, he ain't calling Bugman 2 should had mentioned all the issues that the game have. Based on preview statements made about Starfield not getting nominated for Game of the Year based on the issues at launch. Bugman 2 should not be part of the Game of the Year nominees as well. So what's your thoughts on this?
I'll take it.
Okay.
Definitely. First of all, I don't think it was going to get nominated as Game of the Year. But being that these journalists is Sony stands, it probably will get nominated because that's the only game they put out this year. The fact of the matter is, if you're going to say bugs are in other games and you give them hits for launch, then you should too. Now, what this is the excuse that they're using. Well, in my review copy, I didn't have it, and then after it launched, update went up, and then it messed it up for you guys. So my review is gonna stand because I played it in this state and not the horrible state you played it in. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Right? Because all the streamers that I saw put up, every streamer had ran into the same bugs that I ran into. And you're going to say, again, King, when it went live, it was a bug that they put in the game. Okay, so then you should just erase your score and start over again. And then if you experience bugs, note that, then put that up. But you won't do it. And we understand that you have to save Kong. I get it. I get it.
King Kong versus Gaza.
Yeah, I get it. But you know who's the real king of the monsters and it's gonna be a point in time y'all can't run for it. But I see what y'all doing and I like it. But yeah, it should be hit for those scores for the bugs, and it shouldn't be nominated. No.
Okay. So, Solve, your thoughts on Bugman? Oh, they're Addict. That's Addict's back. Okay.
Yeah,
I know you're not feeling well.
You sent me this certain type of rubber tussin to buy, and I was explaining to Zachary what it is.
Oh yeah, you got to get that right. That tussin. You got to get that tussin, baby.
Yeah. I don't know what we're doing.
So you're talking about, all right, so we talk about, now we're talking about Spider-Man 2, as Stitches call it, Bugman 2. And he's saying that that he says is a clear bias because Starfield not getting nominated for Game of the Year based on the technical issues. And then he's saying that, but Spider-Man shouldn't be part of it as well.
I think you can make an argument why both shouldn't be part of it, but at the same time, I don't think that's realistic. These are two big games that came out this year. They're both definitely, in conversations with that. Now, I mean, you can put up a bug on Starfield. I could put up a bug on Spider-Man. We could keep doing this forever because I experienced bugs in Starfield. And I experienced a game-breaking bug. That game-breaking bug, I didn't experience nothing like that when I played Spider-Man. But I can also say, besides that one hiccup playing Starfield, I was more annoyed playing Spider-Man. Because for the most part, my experience playing Starfield was flawless. There wasn't really too many technical issues. I had some here and there, but when I was playing Spider-Man, it wasn't game-breaking stuff, because I feel game-breaking stuff is when you stuck and you can't go any further.
Right. Yep.
But I had a lot of annoying stuff that was happening in Spider-Man. It's like I said, if it wasn't for the checkpoint system, I'd have dropped it. That's how bad it was.
Fact.
But the checkpoint system made it to where even if I was having those issues, resetting a checkpoint only brought me back not far at all.
No doubt. No, I feel you on that. Definitely on the progression. Solve thoughts on the Bugman 2, as Stitch says.
Like I said, I haven't had the bugs yet, so I can't speak. I'm not going to say that I have because I haven't. And then Starfield is largely, when we were playing in the preview period, like I said, I had on PC, I had a crash to desktop like a lot of times, but I never had any in-game bugs per se that prevented me from progressing or anything like that. It would just, I knew from the beginning, and this is a Bethesda thing. I don't know if you guys do it, but I save scum in Bethesda games just to be on the safe side.
Facts.
So I always do that. So I didn't have any bugs during gameplay except maybe, just every now and again, NPCs are bald and stuff like that. Like other than that. So for me,
that was funny. That was a funny one.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, to me, the game is such. You have to be. Let's keep the same energy, as we always say. If Starfield is being docked for that, and that's the hill somebody's dying on, then that should be the same hill you stand on for Spider-Man. My personal belief is they both should be nominated for Game of the Year still, because they're both great products. At the end of the day, I feel like Starfield's gonna get the shaft.
Oh, you agree with Rand?
Especially since Alan
I got a
Wake
bet with
coming
Rand
up
on that. Yeah.
Especially with Alan Wake coming up.
I heard Alan Wake is outside.
You
It's
know,
outside.
Pause.
So
even
Time on you, sir.
even with Alan Wake coming out, I still think Starfield's gonna get it.
I think so
'Cause
too.
I think logistic wise, it just makes more sense for him business to have that. And I'm not saying that, Jeff Keighley going to make sure that that's in it, but I think he's going to be very vocal. It would be awesome. If we could get that,
and
get all three of the platforms.
He makes that come to life. Like it'd be awesome if everybody had a game.
If he's
Hint,
smart,
hint, wink, wink.
It's
he's
funny.
smart.
We are literally talking about any game. It doesn't matter what gets on there; they're not winning.
No. So that's it, so?
Yeah, like to me again, have the same energy.
Same energy.
You have to keep the same energy. Let's do that. Let's not be hypocrites now. But again, we're talking about the internet here, so
You want the Spider-Man wins
I
game
might
of the
be
year.
asking too much.
It's not. It's not.
Oh, that would be egregious across the board. That would be egregious.
It's not. It's
So
not.
it
That's
can't
not
win?
even. That's not even in the conversation of it. It already won in my heart. It's not going to win. For
I
real.
think with a Zelda and a Baldur's out there, nah.
Nah, it's not even
If
close.
Starfield somehow got on there and one game of the year,
God.
There would be blood in the street. There would be blood in the street. To the streets would be crazy. It'd be crazy. Yeah, it would be an interesting sight. I will say that. That'd be funny. Yeah.
So, the chat real quick. Put in the chat. I obviously I'm asking you guys to do a little research, but I'm not doing it. I don't feel good. Go and find out on Twitter when they announced last year's nominations. What day was it? Because I think it was in November sometime, but I do not have the energy to go look right now. So
Are you good?
people go look, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyway, I ain't got to add too much. I pretty much said everything else. Look, I had experience, with Spider-Man the same way. So, it's. I agree with King that theoretically you should re-review your thing if the product comes out and it's different. But we know how the industry works, and it's not doing it. And in fairness to Starfield, yeah, it's not the same energy. We just got to say that's the truth. So, hopefully, both get nominated. I still like both games. So that's pretty much all I got to say. I don't really got too much to care about that. I know dudes is in the streets for this one, though. All right, so we got Subeb ain't let me super chat, but that's why I'm here. I just wanted to say these Sony ponies are for the streets, but we are for the stars. All in fun. Shout out to the Lords and hope y'all have a great episode. All right, Subeg.
Patreon just for smoke.
He wanted to get his bars off. All right, Dip Down is back, so you better get ready. He's gonna have us do
I
something.
gotta save the world.
Dip Down is
It ain't happening.
Dip Down
like
is
over.
I think we saved the world one time.
We saved it
One time we saved it. Here, Dip Down, our leading Patreon drama creator. So, no extra allies to fight the dragon. However, the Dimensional Dragon agrees to grant you any video game weapon of your choice if you can all agree. What is the best Sony first-party IP of all time? If able, what's your weapon? If we decide, agree, I guess, on the IP, then we pick the weapon. And it says, P.S. King, I'm back on Fortnite getting these chicken dinners. Where you at? That's
You're lying. Just at me and I'll get at you.
So I was confused. They said we pick a weapon or
no,
So we gotta. Yeah, sorry.
No, we have to pick the best IP that's in the Sony lineup. And after we come to the consensus of the best IP, then the Dragon will grant us one weapon.
Yeah.
And okay, so
I know
we're not going to agree on this.
I know where you going.
I
I'm
know
not
we're
saying Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
So we
But-
definitely.
Well, it's IP.
But he says
It could be
IP,
just
so we could say
Us.
Last of Us.
Yeah. So
I won't say that.
Well,
I know
knew that
you
was- I
won't.
knew you wouldn't.
And I'm gonna say this, right? I know Sony has a ton of IPs that are beautiful. There's some dead franchises that us older heads is gonna harken back to, and then for the newer guys is going to be some stuff. I'm gonna have to say is The Last of Us, and the only reason why I'm gonna say is The Last of Us, and it redefines Sony as a brand.
Yes. That's
Right?
literally the OG of #JustOne. That's literally like the antithesis of it.
Because Naughty Dog, Neil Druckmann's thought with this game is so humanizing. The story can be told on various different mediums. It could be read, It could be shown in video games. It can be shown through movies. The game transcends all different forms of media, and it also elaborates and expounds on different forms of conversation on how you feel about it. And I thought he was fearless from the beginning till now, right? So, you know, having the police officers and stuff go out and, you know, kill citizens because of stuff that they know in the background is actually happening, and to deal with it and wrestle with stuff. And, you know, the thought of being a surrogate parent to a child that's not yours, that is important to the mission, and you lost your kid. There's a whole weave and web about it that makes it the greatest IP for me. So hopefully I did plead my case, but I'm pretty sure we're not going to decide on this as far as the best IP for them. So I'm curious to hear Addicts. One, I'm pretty much probably know what Cognito's going. I don't know where Salve is going.
Mine's God of War. God of War is just, in my personal opinion, it's the most unique title they've had that stood out all these years. It's the only
new God of War or the whole franchise?
God of War is a franchise.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the only IPs that I know of. You know, I'm not saying there isn't others, but it's one of the biggest IPs I could think of that had a complete redirection in gameplay and succeeded. You know, most companies would love to do that, and there's not a lot that have done that successfully. So that's why, you know, and I feel like God of War 3 is the best action adventure game in existence. So
God of War 3?
Okay, no doubt. We got God of War, we got Last of Us Salve. Where do you land with the dragon and saving the world?
Okay, so one question. So we're not counting Spider-Man as a Sony IP, all right?
I mean, I guess we could.
It's not the IP though, so we got to
not.
talk about the IP.
Okay. Because
They don't own that.
Why you trying to eliminate?
no, that is fair. That is fair. They'll own the Spider-Man IP.
So let's get rid of that. Let's go to where else. Let's go to where you going for real now.
Oh my Lord.
So if that is the case, we're not doing that. Then So in a lot of ways, my answer would have been what Kings is, because it's the IP that is transcended, and it's the one that they're gonna see success in on a lot of different fronts. The game front, obviously, we've seen the success on the TV front. That it's gonna be a multi-Emmy winning show. But then you got to look at GT. GT is their best. GT is their best-selling franchise, period.
Really? I didn't realize that.
So
got a movie too.
Yeah, the movie is not Last of Us quality. I gotta go with King though. I mean it's my personal love for the IP, and I just think that it has elevated to that point where it's like it's still not gonna be for everybody. It's not gonna sell like Gran Turismo because it's, you know, the level of violence and murder is not gonna be for everybody. But I do think it is the one that has the ability to be most successful on multiple fronts. If they ever do get this factions out, they might be successful on the multiplayer side.
That's on ice. That's on ice.
I almost said Uncharted because I feel like even though I'm not the biggest fan of the franchise, I think you can make an argument that like the Uncharted franchise is one of the key factors that led to PlayStation coming back, because without Uncharted, I don't think you get to that Last of Us, because Uncharted kind of evolved to the Last of Us.
Absolutely, and I'm not sure Uncharted has sold more than Last of Us, if I'm not mistaken, because
they've had more games.
They've had more games, and again, I think it is just more accessible, where not everybody is gonna, especially what people heard from Last of Us 2, that it was super dark, right? And people like the sort of the Indiana Jones style sort of pulpiness of Uncharted. But I kind of agree with King though, because again, they had the movie and it was successful. It was pretty successful. We'll see if they bring it back. Maybe it has that type of pull. If they bring it back, which I think they are going to bring back with obviously Nate's daughter, maybe. I still got to go with Last of Us though.
I feel that. Yeah, they all. I mean, it's all of them can make an argument as far as their IPs. They're that good. If I was trying to save the world, I'd have just agreed with y'all Last of Us just to save it. But I can't get mad at
But
Addict.
since I don't care, since
I don't care. I mean,
I know
you
where
know,
he's going. I knew where he's going.
you know where I'm going.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
You know, there's only one IP that I like.
It's not a franchise yet.
Hey,
though. Not yet.
it's one. It's a brand new. And when he come outside and when he come back, you know what's about to happen.
Yeah.
So you know where I'm at with this.
Yeah.
This
so the world is gonna end.
This-
What weapon would you have chose though? I would have chose the BFG.
That's exactly what I would have chosen. The
BFG.
BFG.
Yeah, the
BFG?
BFG, son. Yeah,
What?
I'd have chose. Yeah, I'd have chose the BFG.
BFG is classic.
So
The
what
BFG
weapon?
or the what the hell? What's the one that from Gears where they rain down from the
The
Hammer of Dawn.
Hammer of Dawn.
See, but the problem with the Hammer of Dawn is you got to put in the coordinates. Like,
Yeah, you gotta be like, hold on, y'all.
Yeah,
It takes a minute. It takes a minute.
Attic, what you go with? Attic, what you go? What's your weapon?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
That or the fat boy from Fallout.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Oh,
Yeah, the nukes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was crazy. All right, no doubt. So we died again, dipped down.
Yeah, so
we
we
died
dipped
again.
down.
Sorry.
Okay, so
Yeah.
here's a list of the most powerful weapons, and this is not anything. It's by the gamer. Number 1, the Master Sword. Number 2, the blue shell in Mario. Number 3, the hidden blade in Assassin's Creed. Okay, well, that's it. The energy sword in Halo 2.
Oh, all right.
BFG 9000 from Doom. Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts. Blades of Chaos. The Pokeball. Let me see what else. And then it cuts me
Who
out.
the hell
So-
put this list together?
Yeah, they wild.
This is from Game Rant, I think it was. The
Okay.
gamer. No, it was the gamer. The
Yeah,
gamer.
leave that gamer dude alone because
we gotta
you
move
stand
on.
there. I want you to stand in the middle of the street, your master sword at any
Whoa.
point in time. Pause. And I'm gonna stay there with the BFG, and you just get ready.
They got
You
the
I would-
golden gun and golden eye. Let me see what else.
Take the mystery box.
Are we good?
Yeah.
All right, so we dead.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Mario
We're
Star.
User not found. That's his name. Hey, Lords. Hope you're all having a good day so far. My question is, since Starfield has released and we've all had a chance to sink a lot of time into it, was there a discovery you made in the game that really wowed you? Things like a hidden outcome to a quest, a strange discovery, a random encounter, a specific creature, planet perhaps. Stuff along those lines, but the important thing is that it made you feel like you truly discovered something that no one else had. P.S. Addict. I remember one time you said you wished there were some references to Bethesda games' other universes in Starfield, where apparently some have now been found. The easiest, most clear ones are the box of sweet rolls on Grandma's ship that say they are the tastiest treat in any universe, and in a certain prison, no spoilers, the name of a random prisoner that was locked up is Delvin Mallory. There was a removed Deep Elder Scrolls lore Easter egg creature that would have been found in the Malok system. Do with that what you will. Sorry for the long question. Just also quickly want to thank you guys for all the great content. If I can only watch one podcast live in a week, I always try to make it ILP on Sunday. Salute,
what's
user
up.
not
Thank you.
found. That's what's up.
Appreciate you.
That's what's up. So, yeah, anything we found that was a truly wowing discovery in Starfield? Anybody go? Attic.
I found this white version of this monster that is like this unbeatable beast on the first planet.
Oh, I know what you're talking
And,
about. Yeah.
yeah. So, and I only found that because I was on him, her, and a guest show with C Money and his wife. So they talked about this monster, and I was like, I gotta find this monster for myself. Right? So it wasn't a discovery of my own per se; it was a discovery of somebody else's. But I found the monster, and as the level I am, I was like, I should easily beat this monster. Well, easily not, easily not. This creature is tenacious, and you don't care that I got powers. So yeah, so it's stuff like that. I don't know. I find the game amazing from the little stuff that I'm able to do for no reason in the planet. I'm just this weirdo that found out that once you destroy a ship, a parts fall to the planet, and you could go to the planet and get some more wreckage. So I don't know. I like it like that. It's weird.
Addict, your wowing moment in Starfield.
Found an abandoned space shuttle once that had a companion that was locked up there. To this day, I still can't find her because I left her there.
Yo, I never found
You
that.
left her there.
Well,
That's crazy.
I was doing something else, and like I had to pass a check to even talk to her because she was going to shoot me.
Oh,
And when I passed it, it gave me the opportunity to let her come on because her ship was destroyed. So it was like just hovering in space, and I left her there.
Yo.
And,
yo.
That's an addict thing to do.
That's
for
an
sure.
addict thing to do.
yeah, she was like, I just need these certain items to get back up and running. And I'm like, yeah, but I need those items too. So I guess you're just here. Like,
So you gonna stay here? That's wild. Salute.
Said, work it out.
Work it out. Solve
and
idiot.
I took everything in her ship too.
Beast. Beast.
You need more stuff.
I respect the beast, the savagery. So,
So
Wowie moment.
I haven't done enough story stuff to really be wowed by stuff like that. I've been the idiot that just goes planet to planet, just trying to see what's on there.
Oh yeah.
So the most that I found is just going into caves really and seeing some idiot who's in there.
Yeah.
I'm dying. And one of them was like, just leave me here. I'm like, I just can give you this medicine. You can go with me. No.
Yep.
All right. So stuff like that, just exploring different planets, like, and or one of those places that it's been taken over by pirates or something like that. And in each one, the story is a little bit different, like the hierarchy of the pirates, the reason that they're there, the beefs that they have with themselves is a little bit different. But yeah, that's the sort of stuff that I found so far. I think, and to King's point, I did also find on the first planet that I landed on, I was killing everything until this one creature was like, nah, and I didn't realize it. And I was shooting at it, and it's like, yeah, level 23. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you're different.
Yeah, so stuff like that.
Yeah, for me, it was, I had a few, but the one, there was like this derelict ship, and like when you get on it, everybody's bodied, massacred in brutal way.
What?
And then you go, and and I thought the game glitched, because I run with my companion all the time. Right. So I'm like, all right, so I was like, Adoran fan, where you at? Like, so I kept going back to my ship after I docked onto this derelict ship. And the game is like, no, you're doing this by yourself. So I said, okay. And yeah, when I was there, you get going on terminals and the life support system went down. And I'm like, yo, King, why this game turned into Alien Isolation? And I'm like, hey, yo. This is what happened on the ship.
You found the creature?
Yeah, you keep venturing, and this thing is ridiculously OP compared to your level. Luckily, I had some serious weaponry, you know what I mean, that I had accrued, but I had to still cheese it. I had to cheese it so I could get through. Like it was crazy, and it will hunt you down through the whole joint.
Wow.
It is, I said, this is why everybody got murdered. Yeah. It's crazy.
I didn't account to that.
Yeah, it's a little derelict ship. You say the hail and nobody answer, and you get on, and you just, everywhere you go, there's scientists, everyone is brutally murdered. It's crazy, and it's quiet, and you can't bring your companion.
I like stuff like that.
Me too. I was like, yo, this is crazy.
I like that.
Yeah, that joke is fine. Anyway, let's get into the poll. That was the last one. Shout out to everybody at Patreon. Is really doing their thing. Salute to the Patreon question. All right, last week's poll.
We got some stuff up in Patreon this week. Shout out to me and Attic.
Yes, reactions.
We did the what is it? What is that thing called? Attic battle, death battle. Yeah, we did some death battles with some anime stuff. Some real good stuff.
Yeah, y'all killing it. Salute to y'all on the Patreon. Salute to everybody.
It's King reacts. It's a Mata Uchiha versus Sosuke Aizen.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, and Jason versus Michael Myers. And for the whole show, I wore who I thought was going to win the fight. So, because I got both masks. So, like today, I didn't know who I was gonna be. I was gonna be Jason.
You messy.
Anyway, I was gonna be Michael Myers. Because remember, it's the month of Shocktober for you.
It is Shocktober.
I don't know. Yeah.
Salute.
You're shocked, huh?
Let me get these joints going on.
Let's get it.
To the question, last week's poll results are in. With Starfield winning NPD for the month of September and already being the 7th best-selling game of 2023 year-to-date, which factor do you most attribute to its success? The winner, 4-way ILP poll at 36% of the vote. Very close, y'all. PC Day and Date, promoting more sales growth group. Coming in tied for second. We haven't tied in a while. 26%. Xbox Game Pass is not cannibalizing sales, and user reviews are greater than media review disparity on the enjoyment of Starfield. So those two came in as a tie. And then in last place with only 10% of the vote was, I don't care, y'all better bend the knee to God Howard, start humming that theme song from Starfield. Shout out to the Lords who participated. King, the Realm says PC day and date was the major factor.
Well, that should happen in across the board with everybody. Mm-hmm. I think PC should be the outlier, and let's see how the games fare on that platform. Mm-hmm. It is a major factor when it comes to selling games and getting games across to a larger audience, because as we know, PC dudes really engage in the products, mm-hmm. and they want our products that are first party from both companies, Sony and Microsoft. So yeah, it's a major contributor factor, and I think going forward it will continue to be so.
No doubt. That's it. So, any super chats before we get into the topic? So we good? We got to pay the bills. We got to do anything. We got to do.
Yeah, we got to read these super chats and then pay some bills. Let's just do that afterwards. Yeah. So we got Homeless Bird, $5 super chat.
That's funny.
Feel better, addict. You can always visit my bae, Dr. Takemi, and she'll set you right. Don't fear the Reaper. He will be waiting for you. I'm like, okay, I don't know
what that means. Addict, do you have any additional context?
Sounds like an anime. Is an anime reference?
Yeah, that's from Persona.
What did he say?
Persona. Dr. Takemi.
Oh, yeah. I definitely romanced her. It's kind of weird because, like, you're like 15, 16, and she's like a 30-year-old. But
wow.
Yeah, she got romance.
I'm done.
Yeah, that was back in the day.
I romanced the teacher too. So. I think I romanced everyone that wasn't my age. Ironically.
I just got my 11-year-old nephew that game.
You don't know. My son is playing that game right now.
Woo, Persona.
Yeah,
moving on.
They'll be fine. They don't show nothing like anything like that.
Nah, just give any windows, bro. Just any windows.
It's in terms of like the romances from other games, is definitely like a PG version of it. Like, it's like Baldur's Gate be showing everything.
That's why y'all like Baldur's Gate. All I hear is y'all like Baldur's Gate for the fact that it's some stuff that's going on there with animals. And now there's more visualization. And this is why your perverts say, oh, that's game of the year.
You're ridiculous.
You're able to do nasty things.
You're ridiculous. Time will penny.
Then we have Easy with the $5 super chat. What's up, Lords? Hope everyone is doing good. Is Jaffe still coming?
Yes, Jaffe's on route.
Coming.
Pause. I don't know.
Sorry, I read it incorrect. Is Jaffe still coming on? Is Jaffe still coming on?
Come on. Y'all gotta relax.
Acting like I know that.
He's on standby. He's coming.
Like I know that.
Then we have Dr. Strangelove, $2 super chat. Cog was swinging meat on the dance floor.
Yo, you are doing the most right now, son.
Then we have Zip Davis, $5 super chat. Every time someone says Zip when talking about Spider-Man 2, Marvel pays me $1. I'm gonna be rich. Keep it up, guys. Ooh wee.
Shout out to Zip. Dope.
Then we have Mr. Too Opinionated, $5 super chat. Xbox is promoting women and PlayStation is walking about. Jesus.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
Then we got Lucius Augustus, member for 26 months. Lord Broads. Funny how Pete Hines left before the news of the restructuring. He didn't want to rock the Book of X. Okay, well, you can leave, sir.
Was Book of X thing? That's what it was? All right.
Then we have THX1138, $2 super chat. Matt will spend them out of business. Yes, that is Matt Booty's mantra. I will spend them into the ground.
King's man.
That's right. Get him out of
here. Then we have Danny Passion Official with the $5 super chat. And this is something that I've been hearing lately as well. Mm-hmm. So maybe I'm the only one, but I think it isn't cool being interrupted with YouTube ads on a live streaming show. Come on.
Yeah, they bugging today. Sorry.
Yeah, I've been seeing more and more shows. It does seem like they're they're starting to push ads during live shows.
Yeah,
Yeah, they want people to purchase the premium product.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, so that is what they're doing. And then we have Masochista, $2 super chat. The reviews for Spider-Man's are 1000% inflated.
I don't like that name. We got to move on.
Spider-Man's 2.
And the funny thing is, there's still people having issues with buffering in the chat.
Yeah,
me too.
I'm having it right here.
I was like, okay, well, maybe they could go and the people that's having issues go watch it on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I looked over there and like Twitch, I don't know what Twitch is doing either. Like,
Yeah, something going on.
Out.
That's all good.
Yeah. So shout out to Spider-Man.
we're being cyber attacked.
What else we got?
Let's put the crest of the chat for a member for 14 months. Craig Hooligan. Shout
Yeah.
out to Craig Hooligan. We got Craig Hooligan again.
I like that name.
With the $5 super chat.
Everybody's business.
Now that Starfield landed and hit a home run, what do we want to see in Outer Worlds 2?
Ooh. I would say that Starfield has. It pains me to say this because Obsidian's my dudes. But Starfield, from the companion side, has upped them now. They had, I felt Outer Worlds had it at the beginning, that no one was really doing it like them, but they took it a step further, so they're going to have to step their joint up. And then, they don't got to do the whole big world. It seems like some people still want a condensed, hub world thing.
I don't think it will be that. I don't think it'll be
They've
that
already
at
said,
all.
they've most likely going to switch that direction based on, I'm assuming from like how they talked about Avowed, they want to stick to what they do best. So, I agree.
Yeah. So let me see. Then we got Halo Reach Around, $5 super chat. Addict, what are your coordinates? Trying to give you my hammer of dawn.
Yo!
No! Oh, man, I can't hear nothing.
Back to you, sub. Addict, what's going on? Who you impressing out here?
That's probably my girl on the burner.
No, see, that's when you.
So.
That's when you hope that. And you go back in the room and be like, babe, you're so funny with that message that you put. She's like, what message you put?
Wait, that was Halo Reach Around? Who's this?
Halo Reach Around.
Wow. Okay.
They got your favorite game, Reaching Around. Pause. Hey, Documented.
Wow. Okay, and that's the end of that. So it's a perfect transition into our next segment here. So we'll go pay some bills. I will ask the Lords not to mute their mics because I'll be coming to them for a moment. So, gentlemen across the nation, I have an urgent message for you. This episode of the Iron Lords podcast is brought to you by Manscaped. The brand that took your balls to space is now launching them into the ultrasphere, introducing the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, featuring a new cutting-edge design and next-generation dual skin-safe blade heads for different shaves. It's pretty much a spaceship to take your boys downstairs to the next level. Join the 9 million men worldwide who trusted Manscaped with the brand new The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with the code IRONLORDS. High tech for low places, Manscaped. So, as I said to you guys last week, it's not time for games, not time for innuendo, none of that. We'll be having none of that today. We'll go directly to the source, the Lords of the Round Table, and find out what their experience has been with the Manscaped 5.0 Ultra package. So let's go to LordCognito first. Freshly off the airplane, freshly coiffed. What did you use to prepare yourself for the beauty that you exhibited during said wedding yesterday?
That lawnmower was official, so in case, the royal loins had to be handled. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Lawnmower 5.0. It's amazing. You know what I'm saying? This thing is very light, very cool, waterproof. You can get right after the shower. You know what I'm saying? Handle the nether regions. Make sure your master sword is right. You know what I'm saying? Just in case things pop off after the wedding. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we got to keep it real. We got to keep it real. You in another town, it could go down. So make sure you're exactly. You be prepared.
So you
never
make
know.
sure that before you pregame, you went in there, you was just like cleaned up.
Yeah, listen, I had to
you a high and tight type of dude.
high and tight. You gotta. You gotta, like the Yankees. You gotta keep it like the Yankees, nice and clean.
Yo, this man, he say high and tight. I'm done. Anyway, listen, it was official, man. But this product is dope. It is so easy to travel with. So that's highly recommend that Lawnmower 5.0, y'all. Make sure y'all get that.
So you travel with the box?
No, we put that. I got the box for the show, but this is it right here. And you know what I'm saying? It's official. You get the USB. You get the USB action going on.
That's what's up. Yeah,
charge.
okay.
Lord
That's how you
King.
charge us. Yeah, yo.
Week two, how we looking?
All right, so mine again is the bid hedger, right? And yo, check it out. Unlike Cog, this comes with a little travel joint, right? So you ain't walking out here with the box.
With it out there like this.
You ain't out here with the box like, yo. Nah, but so I call myself cleaning up before the show today.
Very
So
nice.
y'all may see my bed a little crooked on the side. Yo, so I put my joint on. I'm like, yeah, let's go get it, man. Let's get outside. But it's definitely what's up. This is definitely one of the best hedges that that the market can bring you. Come
ASMR
down
like that.
on the side. Hit it. Yo, and it's really different because I thought they was gonna give you the same trimmer. Just for the bid. Nah, this is actually larger, more robust, a little bit more in control, and way more powerful than the lawnmower. As far as because the hairs on your face is a little bit more coarse, a little bit longer downstairs. It should not be this long, so you should not have a larger trimmer. But this larger trimmer is definitely worth it. It's aerodynamic. You can see it like
Beautiful.
there you get the nice little grip on that.
Whoa.
So,
Very phallic.
Lord Attic, before we delve into more innuendo, Lord Attic. He's like, I'm not talking.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just having a hard time talking. It's been a good experience. I definitely people like to bring it up. I definitely grow a beard pretty fast.
Yeah, in all areas. I heard.
They need to hedge that.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely appreciative over having the tools to maintain my beardiness. But I would bet you Grace is way more appreciative.
There you go. Exactly.
Shout out to Lady Addict.
Say it to Lady Addict. But I would tell you this, I am totally in agreement. As we discussed before, you never want to be told to take care of that reason. You just want to do it yourself. So for me, as you can see, I have not shaved again right before the show, but I did use my products during the course of the week. And it is, it's a game changer because for me, in the middle of the week, I don't have time to give myself a full haircut and shave and stuff like that. So you take the trimmer, bring everything down at least for a little bit, and then usually the plan is to be shaved and ready to go for the show on Sunday, and that never really happens. But these products are absolutely amazing. So thank you, Lords, for giving me your impressions on the 5.0 Ultra package. So as we all know, every man knows how scary it can get when going for a close shave below the waist. That's why I trust Manscaped for all of my sensitive areas. I'm lucky to be one of the first to try the new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. And to say it's a game changer is an understatement, as of course the Lords have just let you know. Manscaped's 5th generation trimmer features 2 next-gen interchangeable skin-safe blade heads, a standard trimmer blade for taking a little off the top, and a new foil blade to go for that smooth finish wherever your heart desires. No more wet shaving down there. Count me in. This bad boy also features dual LED spotlights to provide contrast on multiple skin tones so you can shed some light on your darkest places. Light our darkest hour. Let's do that.
Hilarious.
We're talking 3 length setting combs for all of your desired lengths. And oh, did I mention this trimmer is waterproof too? Taking it on the go, Manscaped has you covered. This puppy comes with a travel case and even a travel lock feature to avoid any accidental powering and or weird looks in the airport. Yeah, you don't want to hear the buzzing sound in the airport because they're going to assume it's something else. This right here is on the cutting edge of cutting pubes. Upgrade your ball trimmer and your life will follow. So, get 20% off and free shipping with the code IronLords at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code IronLords at manscaped.com. Your balls have been through enough. It's time to go ultra with Manscaped.
Salute. Another Manscaped joint in the books. Make sure you go get that. Put the link in the description right quick. Just make sure y'all go handle
Absolutely.
that. Handle your handle.
My brother came through, guys. Hey.
What came through?
My brother came through.
Oh, we got that tussin. That's right. We ain't got the sponsor. We can't show it.
Yeah, we ain't got the
Yeah,
sponsor.
we can't show
Blurred
that.
out for a
Yeah,
reason.
good thing we blurred that out.
God is good. God is good.
But
No
Roman Tussin,
demonetization
if you're
yet.
listening and you want to know, because we got history with Tussin. So no
The
doubt.
real deal, not Tussin.
Put some Tussin on it.
The real
What I
stuff.
do, it's like, have you ever been to a point where you can't do a podcast? Well, we got a thing for you.
We got a thing for you. Lord Addict, our representative. That would be hilarious. All right, we are all caught
Will this
up.
thing put me to sleep?
Nah, it ain't like that NyQuil, so you should rock that.
Oh, you gonna go to bed?
He good right now. It ain't like the NyQuil joint. We all caught up,
Yeah.
so?
We got a couple of super
Let's
chats
get
real
the super
quick.
chats, and then we got a break on Jeff here.
Danny Passion official, $2 super chat. Danny Passion original is coming alleyway to his fire. Shout out to you.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Hood Ninjaichi Gaming and what's the? It doesn't tell me the whole thing. It says Hood Ninjaichi Gaming and something entertainment. I'm assuming. $5 super chat. The person you can't find anymore is Betty. She's stranded in the Hylian system.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you have a ship part. I'm on day 15. Wow, it's a lot of time in game. All right, she's in the Hylian system.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Lord Metroid, $2 super chat. King in the bathroom drops the trimmer. Ah! Then we have Vic the
Doing that.
Then we have Vic the mother effing click, $5 super chat.
Okay.
Clean up, guys. Don't have your girl sneezing on your meat from them long hair
Wow.
tickling her nose.
We got to put you on timeout, sir. No doubt. We good?
Shout out. Yeah, it's funny because my screen is frozen on because two heads are better than one.
Yeah, let me
That's
make
what it's
sure
frozen.
it's good.
Biggest thing I want to apologize that I'm sorry YouTube messing up for you guys today. I see some of you have an issue,
Yeah.
some of you not.
Yeah,
It
Ain't
really
nothing we
is.
could do, man. We changed the whole format just to try to make it work.
no doubt. And then we got the legendary David Jaffe in the building. We get a mic check from you, sir.
Well, hello, fellas. How you doing?
Oh,
hello.
there we go. What you doing over there, man? Look good. What's going on? How we feeling?
I'm feeling great. How was the wedding?
The wedding was fantastic. You were
Was
talked
it?
about and missed. People wanted to see you, and they said we're
Listen.
going to go to San Francisco. There's no excuse next time.
I saw the pictures, though. What wonderful pictures. And they both look so cool and so happy. And it was pretty cool. It was pretty
really
cool to see.
And Gene and Dustin wanted to laugh at you how you got to him.
Oh, good. Yeah. That was awesome.
That was awesome. Salute to you, no doubt. So we're going to get into these topics right quick. So, actually, we probably could use Jeffrey on this one because most of us don't have a lot of game time on this one. So, Alan Wake 2. I don't know if Jeffrey got a chance to play it. We wanted to talk about it real quick. We hear the impressions are strong. So, let's start with you.
I don't have a lot to say because I'm only about an hour into it. I'm still sort of deep into Spider-Man.
Okay.
Yes.
And I took the time because I'm like, everybody's talking about Alan Wake, and I knew we would be talking about today. So, what I've played so far, it's great. It's a nice opening. I will say the opening before you actually get to the main protagonist and stuff is like, I was watching going, that's probably if I was like a 10 or 11-year-old kid, that's a scary as crud opening. It's like, okay, that'll give some kids nightmares in a fun way.
Yeah.
It's real good. And then, you're walking around and I'm not going to, you open the game, you're playing as this guy.
There's some butt cheeks in this out there.
There's not just butt cheeks, but it's like I don't know if they modeled him off Review Tech USA or me, but the point is, but
John Goodman.
I felt seen. I can tell you that. But anyway, no. But I mean, and after that, it kind of is introducing you to a bunch of stuff, and it really feels to me like one of those games that I may not even play right now, because I think I'm really going to like it a lot, maybe more than that. But I want to kind of be in the right headspace, and right now, my headspace is all like, I want to see what happens with Spider-Man.
Yep.
And I haven't finished it yet. So,
Me neither.
but I'm enjoying it. It's really good, and the performances are good, and the graphics are great, and there's nothing bad to say about it yet. And I'm excited because people say it's great.
No doubt. Lord Attic, our resident horror game player. How we feel about Alan
I
Wake?
dropped that.
He dropped
When I
it.
say I dropped it, I didn't even start.
You didn't even start.
Yeah, I'm good on all that.
You don't like the horror games?
Yeah, I saw homegirl walking on 2 hands. I'm good.
Oh, so wait, you didn't do it with the horror movie when the house tell you get out, you listen, and you're
not
not
in the house. See, I'm the kind of dude when I look at. I'm the kind of dude that I look at reviews before I go anywhere. I go to a B&B and I'm sitting there and they're like, "Oh, this place has been haunted." Oh, I'm not going there. It's like I'm the kind of person that I used to own a house. And I sold it because it was haunted. So,
No.
Yes, he
No,
did.
I really did.
Yes,
I
he
really
did.
He
I'm
did.
not doing that, man. I've seen enough movies to where I know where this is heading. If at this point, after as many movies and stuff has been made, if you get yourself caught up in a situation like that, it's your fault.
Attic was with us with Hi Guys, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes, he
Yeah.
was.
So I don't know how you did, because I didn't do well in that place. So, because first of all, our Uber driver drove us through a cemetery.
Yes, to get to the spot.
place.
Yeah.
And then when we get to the place, it is the creepiest Resident Evil place ever. That's when we stopped doing Airbnbs. Hi Guys definitely stopped us from doing Airbnb.
we walked outside and I looked up. You had to go through like an alleyway to get to the house. Like,
No.
it's like,
good.
"Oh, we good. We good."
Did you have to disclose when you sold the house that you thought it was haunted, or you only have to disclose if someone was murdered in it? Because that's a real thing. If somebody was murdered in your house, you have to tell people.
Yeah.
We had people that passed away in it, but they were never murdered, so we'd have to disclose anything.
Man, I would have bought that house. I mean, I would love. If I was in the market for a house again, I would totally go to one of those realtors that sells haunted houses. I would love that.
I
don't
think
believe in it, but I would love it.
I think the reason it messed with me is because when I remember being like 12, 13,
Yeah.
and I remember being in that house, and I was looking straight at a mirror, and I saw a silhouette, just a figure. And I thought it was my mom, and I turned around and there's no one there.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, no.
And then there was a couple times that I remember one time being in the room beside the kitchen, and I was laid out on the bed, and I just heard
on your
this,
stomach? You was on your stomach?
King.
Wow.
So I heard this. It sounded like something straight out of the Grudge, and I remember thinking maybe it's in my head, maybe I'm hearing this. But I had a dog beside me. His ears popped up, so he heard it too. I was like, "Yeah, I'm out." I just left. Like, I didn't stay there. Like,
maybe there was just a noise in the garage. I mean, do you leave whenever you hear noise in any room you're not in?
Jackie, it was so bad.
It's like you're in a restaurant and there's a noise in the kitchen and you run out and it's like, yeah, they're cooking your food.
Jackie, it was so bad.
Yeah,
it was so bad.
Yeah,
that I've had family members claim that the only time they've ever had nightmares was in that house. I've had people that said they have slept over there and literally had a nightmare of someone coming there and killing everyone.
So as soon as you got old enough, you just got rid of it.
No, it didn't even get that far. I got to the point I refused to live in it. My mom had to sell it.
Oh, that's
Wow.
okay. Listen. Not to take us off the rails, but we're going off the rails with this.
Yeah,
one.
we going on.
All right, so I'm in the house.
Fine. None of us played the game in those.
Yeah, so we're talking about random horror stories instead of Alan Wake.
All right, so listen. I'm getting ready to buy the house that I'm in right now. Right, this is the house that I'm in. So we're going here and we're going through all the rooms, and the realtor's showing us all the rooms. So we go upstairs to the attic, and the attic is a fully furnished bedroom, right, with walk-in closets, nice stuff, right. But then there's this one little creepy door, right? There's one little creepy door. There's a little creepy closet.
See, you had a creepy door. I had a creepy house.
You see, but listen at it. So you open this little creepy door, and it leads to the storage part of the attic, right? It's unfurnished. It has a little light that you click on inside, and you're looking at it, you're like, that's not a thing for me, right? That's the feeling that you get in your heart. Right. This is. Let's like this is something. This is not cool. Yeah. But it was nothing in there, right? So I looked inside. Cool. In my head, when we were leaving, I said, yeah, we ain't gonna get this place. Cool. Close the door on the creepy closet. We're walking all down the steps. I'm the last one. I'm bringing up the rear. As we're coming down the steps, the creepy closet open.
Come back.
I look, my heart said, hell no. I said, and as I'm walking, I said, yes, this is the house we're gonna get. Right? And I said that, right? So, okay, going down, we get the house. We get the house. I'm like, oh, everything went smooth, paid for the house, everything. Damn it. All right, so the ex-wife is at at work, the kids is at school. I'm sitting in the middle of the living room, watching TV, and I hear boom, 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 like running down the steps. like steps, like something running down the steps.
Yeah,
right?
he's here. We got him. We got him now.
So there's nobody in the house but me. And I'm looking at the TV, and I sit at the edge, and I look at the steps, and I'm frozen in fear, terrified, absolutely terrified. The hairs is running up my back. The hairs on my head, the little peach fuzz on my head is standing up. My beard is doing whatever it's doing, and I'm looking at the steps. And then, because there's a moment of fight and flight, right?
Right.
And in my heart, I said to the ghost with all the conviction in my heart, dude, I just got this mortgage. We're in this together.
Nah, man, that's why I don't be playing like these horror games. Because I lived in a horror game for years. Why do I want to play any of them?
So the end part of that is I have to get a dog.
The ward off the evil spirits.
I said, because they said when you're scared, get a dog. Right? So I said, my big behind got to get a dog. What type of dog I got?
So that's the debut of Coco Chanel Johnson.
No, that was the debut of Sir Benjamin Johnson.
Yes.
And yo, I'm not gonna lie. That's how I came to get a dog. Because Cog can tell you I didn't have any animals except for Shorty Doo-Wop when I was growing up. And other than that, there was no animals. And then this love for dogs came out of nowhere. And I know these dudes is like, yo, what's going on? So it was born out of fear. So
Horror time.
Has the dog sensed anything or seen anything?
Nah.
No. Okay.
No,
So you
but
good.
they have my attitude, and I got more comfortable with the house. I really told the house, like, yo, listen,
be high fiving the ghost on the way downstairs.
yo, for real, like, cause I told the ghost, I said, listen, on everything, yo.
I got it.
I'm broke, ghost, and this is where we at with this. I don't have enough to sell this place. We in this together. So I'ma love this place, and I hope you love me, protect me. Like, let's keep everything that's not supposed to be in here out. Well, let's do this together, Ghost. So
And
the Ghost hasn't bothered
is a
me.
mod for the show, right?
He probably is. Yo, probably is.
Yo, Messi. Getting back to Alan Wake.
So that was my Alan Wake experience.
So that was your Alan Wake experience. Saab, you're one of the few that played it.
Apologies, because this is my topic, but a lady Saab was not having it yesterday. She's like, no, no gaming for you today.
I got you. But we all suck at this topic.
So so I installed it, and the time that I did spend with it was mostly dealing with the settings on the PC, right? Because this, I'm gonna tell you this right now. This game, in some ways, if you're messing with ray tracing, this game is the new Crisis. It's like, can you run Alan Wake 2? is really what it is.
You had a hard time running it on our PCs?
They have, with path tracing on and all the bells and whistles. Yeah, bro.
Oh, so it's a beast.
Yeah,
This is the new Crisis.
Now,
it has to be a beast to be having issues. With
For all NSXEs. Yeah.
Now, this is it. If you turn off ray tracing completely and just use rasterized shadows and stuff like that, 4K running at like over 60 FPS, no problem, looking beautiful. But you have to turn off the ray tracing, which is supposed to be the big sort of wow moment for this game. So I played a little bit of that. To Jaffe's point, I did go into the a little bit of the beginning, that very first part that is nightmare inducing, and that was one of the things that my wife happened to be there when I started it, that part. She's like, "What the hell are you playing?"
Was she like, okay, we're going to the bedroom. This is getting me randy.
She's like,
You're watching
did they model this after you?
Tell you what,
Messy.
She was disgusted. She's like, "Why am I seeing this man's?" And it was the water was glistening on his body. It was beautiful technically, but it was horrific. So Yeah, that kind of messed up the whole thing, and I couldn't play anymore. So what I have played though, the most interesting stuff that I've heard, right? Because I didn't look at too much in the way of reviews or anything like that. Just kind of overviews. And a lot of people, what they're saying is like, this feels like the culmination of all of their games. Like, and in some ways they're magnum opus to this point, because all the stuff that they learned kind of like from Quantum Break and the storytelling there, where it's like, okay, don't go full, episodic sitcom, but do intersperse it with gameplay. The stuff that they learned from Control in terms of giving you a little bit more of not an open world feeling, but kind of a linear wide feel where you have to kind of look for story within the gameplay and stuff like that, as opposed to, and I know Addict doesn't like this, but having, to read a whole bunch of documents and stuff and finding the stuff in the world. So it's kind of them figuring out the middle ground to that stuff and implementing it all in this game. So I'm excited to see if that is the case. One of the coolest things that I did see, I don't know if you got to this point yet, Jeff, but I think you did, when she first goes to her mind place. The mind place is cool because it reminds me of I don't know if any of you guys ever saw the Hannibal TV show, right? I've always been a big fan of Silence of the Lambs, Manhunter, Hannibal, whatever. So the Hannibal TV show with Mads Mikkelsen as Hannibal, it goes into the story of Will Graham. That was the first person that was the person who actually caught Hannibal Lecter in the books. And Will Graham is an sort of like he's an FBI agent who has this ability, and Hannibal himself calls him like an eye detector. So somebody who can be sympathetic to what the murderer is doing and place themselves in their sort of shoes, in their emotional state, to sort of figure things out. And that's how Will would sort of figure things out and see what and come up, with what the killer was going to be able to do next. So it was interesting that they did that kind of there, because Hannibal, that show is amazing to me. So to see that sort of thing sort of play out, where she sort of disappears into this place where she's basically processed all the information that she's gotten from any given sort of case or clues of a murder or whatever, and it's within this place where she's able to put all that stuff together and figure out what's going on. So to see that sort of brought to life in a way that I saw in that show was pretty cool.
I will say the two things about that, the mind place or whatever she calls it. First off, I mean, I'm barely into the game, so this isn't spoilers. I'm just guessing. I have to assume they're going to do something narratively with that, because it's so prevalent, whether it's like, the bad guy traps her in there, or it catches on fire, or it starts to change. The other thing that's really cool about it is that there's different parts. It's like you can do the workbench and work on your weapon. You can do the crime stuff. You can do a couple other things. And you're in this cabin, but the different places are all over the room. And it's just a minor thing, but it's just a nice quality of life thing where wherever you're looking, if you hit X, it just goes there. You don't have to actually walk your character to the wall or walk your character to the workbench. You can, but you were mentioning like Hannibal and like, Red Dragon's a great book about, I think that was but this has a very season 1 True Detective feel as well, which if you haven't seen that, it's amazing, but it's got that kind of flavor to it. And I think they do a really good job at it. So I'm digging it. Here's the question. It is one of the best reviewed games of the year, anticipated game of the year, beautiful game. And all of us have either not even had a chance to play it yet, or we've only barely scratched the surface. And so in a lot of ways, it's like, yes, that says good things about 2023 in terms of the amount of just great content.
Facts.
I wonder if this is going to be one of the sort of
snubs.
No, not snubs, but like commercial flops in terms of this was the one that should have moved when they were playing the game of chicken, and I'm not saying that's the case. We'll see what
and it did move, but it only moved a week.
Yeah,
it should have moved further, because you brought up Spider-Man that you're playing. I did the same thing. I said, let me do all I can to Spider-Man, get past the story so I can move on to the other games that I'm playing, like, Dead Space Remake, Alan Wake 2. And, we talked about it because I wanted to play the game and talk about it on today's show. I'm so entrenched in Spider-Man that I wasn't able to be pulled away from it, even with, the stuff that's going on over there. It's just the fact of the matter is some of these games could have moved to the following year at least, or in December. I don't know why people don't release in December.
I can
But-
tell you if you're interested in a little inside baseball on why it shipped.
Yeah, please.
Oh,
yeah,
let's
please
get it.
tell
Let's
me.
When
get
it did, a guy, here's what he said. He didn't give me much. He said, I can tell you precisely why they released it in this window, meaning Alan Wake. This was the last I'm not going to tell you how he knows. He says it's not a big deal, to be honest, more of a decision based on investor interest and other projects in the pipeline. And that may be the case. I'm sure it is, because this guy would know. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, but you guys have this amazing game.
Yeah.
People might miss it, and that's a tragedy, man. But I mean, they'll eventually come back to it. But those guys have never, been the number one game of the year or anything.
Yeah.
Even Control. It's just I don't know if it's the games they make, which are wonderful, but a little niche, or they just kind of don't have a good release plan. Who knows?
Yeah,
But
I mean, do you guys remember what day the original shipped and what game shipped alongside it?
Alan Wake 1.
Alan Wake 1 shipped on the same day
As
as
what
a little game called Red Dead Redemption.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But you know what was crazy? It still kind of got its shine, though. It didn't. Obviously, Red Dead took some way, definitely, because it was Rockstar doing a Rockstar-esque game with cowboys. A lot of people, including myself, was like, I don't want to play this cowboy game. I don't care who made it.
But you can't blame Alan Wake for launching now, though, because it launched right before Halloween. This is the month that it should
It
launch,
should launch, yeah.
right? And Spider-Man should have launched in September. But they moved from Starfield, and I think in
Unconfirmed.
I knew this was
Unconfirmed. KNN News site.
Hey, my sources right here said,
KNN News. King News Network.
King News Network.
It's the ghost of Iwata is haunting your house.
So now I think they had the thought process was right. Spooky time, spooky game. We the best spooky game this month. And I think, Spider-Man probably blindsided them, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I
A
don't
few
know-
weeks
I don't-
out would have helped them immensely, I think. Just a few more weeks.
Yeah.
Closer to Thanksgiving or whatever. But
Yeah.
I agree. I think they probably should have come out in January, February, frankly. But I mean, I think you're absolutely right when it comes to movies and TV spooky stuff. But games have sort of historically shown, if you look at like when Resident Evil was Village the last one, what was the last big Resident Evil they put out?
Village.
that
and
wasn't a
remake 2
right.
was early in the year, yeah.
Yeah, that hasn't really borne the same kind of fruit that, like, hey, let's release Five Nights at Freddy's and it's $80 million in the first 3 days, because it's a movie and Halloween. So I think honestly they should have just said, look, this is a not good place to be. But then again, if you guys remember when they put Control out, I think they finance these things on their own, and I think the budgets are not comparable to these $150 million budgets. When they put Control out, once it sold through 2 million copies, they kind of took out an ad or some kind of YouTube thing or whatever, and it's like, wow, 2 million. And Square Enix would have been like, committing what it's called seppuku or something. But for these guys, because their budgets maybe are smaller, or they don't have these kind of investor, I don't know, but they were like, hey, 2 million's a lot. So maybe for them, they'll do fine. But in our minds, when we see a game only do 2 million that's of that quality, it's like, this should have been the thing. So
I think the budget on this was 50 million, because
50 million.
Something like that. So yeah, so Control was about 30 million euros, and so I believe this was supposed to be somewhere in the range of like 50 million euros, something like that.
Wow.
That's good.
Jump out. Obviously, I didn't get a chance to play yet, but obviously, for what both of you saying, Jaffe's saying, shout out to my man Ebontis. He was talking about it on Last Word because he's reviewing it, and he raves about the sound quality. And just like the atmospheric level of the game, he's a horror guy, so he's just like, look, he's like, Cog or whoever, like, I'm telling you, man, you have to play this game. Rand already has it as a Game of the Year nominee. Like he
I
is
know Rand, he
went
one.
Exactly. So this is a lot of hype, and then remember, 13 years, I guess, from the first one. and to remedy quality. So I'm hearing great things. I will get to it. It's just like Jaffe said, it's just such a crazy year, and to try to fit everything. And I don't want to interrupt Spider-Man. I don't want to interrupt what I've been doing with Starfield with the New Game Plus. There's just so much stuff right now. But salute to them, because I'm hearing great things. I am hearing like you said, Solve, graphically it's a powerhouse. And then I am hearing the Xbox performance is really good with like RDNA 2 and mesh shaders and stuff like that. They're implementing some new technologies there. And I know we'll talk about the Partner Showcase, but it was interesting to see it at the Partner Showcase on the same week. And I'm like,
that it's coming out.
Yeah, I was like, that's interesting, because y'all don't really got the marketing, and that's an Epic published game. But I thought it was, to me, I look at it like Microsoft try to mend fences a little bit. That's how I looked at it. But I don't know, I could
bring them home. Let's bring them home. But
I could be looking into it more because I know from what I've heard, the relationship before wasn't the best. So we'll see what it is. But that's all I got.
They're still in the acquisition season, so
budget is 70 million euros, with 50 being development and 20 spent on marketing.
Yeah. Well, again, I hope my last point is I hope that it does get the recognition it deserves. I do feel for the Game of the Year nominee committee, because this year is crazy. Like, we really can't go hard at them this year, because something's going to get snubbed. If they stick to the format of 6 games, and Alan Wake impresses that way, I think it's like an 88 Metacritic right now.
It's 89 right now.
89 right now?
And 90 OpenCritic.
Yeah, it's up there. Again, I empathize with anyone trying to nominate Game of the Year this year. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. With Spider-Man, Starfield, Tears of the Kingdom, those 3, Then y'all talk about this Baldur's Gate thing.
Baldur's Gate's outside,
and
bro.
Even UFC, they say this is the best UFC game ever.
Come on. No. Listen, if Forza can't get nominated, UFC don't have a chance.
Man. But that's all I got. Let's move on. Sorry, Jaffe, let you got something.
I'm just really fascinated by this, because $50 million, 50 million American dollars, or whatever that translates to, and you've got a game that's at an 88, and that if they would have positioned it maybe a little better, it could have sold a lot more. And I'm just wondering how they're able to make their, that game visually stands toe to toe with a lot of the other games. And it's like, okay, so where are they, what is their secret sauce that lets them make a game for $50 million that is able to be still seriously considered AAA?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's crazy. So they're fully digital now, right? They're not really selling physical copies at all of it. It is $60. It's not a $70 game, so it's $60 on console and $50 on PC.
You see?
Yep.
Epic done stepped up.
They're gonna get their money, man.
Now, it doesn't hurt, of course, that the lead actor is also the writer.
Exactly.
It's
he
true.
didn't have to pay. He didn't have to pay himself.
It's like,
I'll do it.
That's a fact. Now, salute to Alan Wake, man. Hearing good things. We will get to it. Let's move on. Super chats. We got some topics.
Yeah, we got a couple of super chats.
Topics.
We have a BT Maverick 707 $10 super chat. Curious if David Jaffe thinks there is a non-compete clause for ConnieBooth's contract, even after being fired, in case if a certain company is recruiting. Thank you guys for the great show.
You could answer that now. I was going to ask you when you come.
I have no idea how that works. I mean, I know that if you split from a company, if you're laid off and you want your severance or this or that or the other, it'll be like, okay, well, you need to sign this. You can't talk about your time here. You can't talk about this or that or the other. That's pretty common. But when you get fired, I don't know if that or the non-compete kicks in. Like, I mean, let's put it this way. Connie started working at Sony before I did, and people always ask me about my contract. I'm like, I never had a contract. I never, so I can't imagine, unless somewhere along the line they pulled her into a room and said, "Hey, we need to get you a contract." Because there was never a contract for me. So when I left, I mean, I left on good terms, but if I wanted to, I could have talked up. I mean, that's my, I talk now. I don't have a, something saying I can't. So, but as for going to another company, probably. I mean, I don't know. I really, my answer is I don't know. It's an interesting question, but given that she was fired and not laid off, and given that we don't know if even if she was fired, was there some kind of package incentive? Like, yeah, you're fired, but if you want all this, you got to do this. I just don't know. But it's a good question.
Yeah, good question. Salute. What else we got, Solve?
Then we have David Hotright, $10 super chat. Very happy to see David Jaffe in the realm. Yes.
Yeah, he's back.
Back in business.
Can I tell you something, though? Somebody in your chat said, why is Jaffe here? So that one counters that one. And also,
Shout out to the one dude out of the 900 that's hating.
I see it. Even though he didn't spend any money for it, I do want to give him an answer to his question. I'm here because your mom and I finished early.
Oh, God. Hey,
Shots fired! Bang, bang. Seagull Street gang. Early.
Bang.
Early. Continue.
There we have Danny Passion official $5 super chat. My friend invited me and my wife to pray for her at her house, and the kitchen dishes were making noise like if someone was breaking them, and no one was there. So, I'm not.
Yeah,
see now you bringing stuff into this.
Yeah. I am Ghost Lord
I'd
podcast.
be there in a heartbeat. I mean, because I don't even.
So you're a ghost hunter? You like that stuff?
I mean, seriously, I'm not saying I wouldn't be scared. I'm like, I'm not, but I want to, if there's actual life after death and there are real ghosts, and I've never seen any evidence to suggest there are, I'm like, okay, yes, I'm terrified because it's just so weird, but I'm going to talk to this person. It's like, okay, wait a minute.
They're not talking, Jaffe. Those ones are the violent ones. It's not like the ghost was in the kitchen saying, psst, hey, I got a conversation.
I can talk anybody down from a ledge. If that ghost is mad, I'll deal with it. I'm just saying that the fact that death, that life or consciousness continues after life, that's much more enticing to me than being afraid of, oh no, you're a ghost. I want to talk to that damn.
So you're fascinated by his curiosity.
His curiosity killed the cat. I feel you. Yo, Jaffe, listen. I want to say this, right? My curiosity ain't that deep.
You don't want to know what's going on.
Nah, I get to that bridge when I cross it.
You got to get out of jail free card because you got, my curiosity killed the cat. Yours is going to kill your dog. So you got like a buffer there.
Yo, messy. Soft, super chat.
With my dog.
Yo, messy. What else we got?
Danny Passion official $2 super chat. Almost forgot she was messing with Ouija. See, there you go.
There we go. Context.
If you preface that like, hey, I need you to pray for me because I was doing dumb thing. No, you on your own.
He opened the portal. They want to know why.
Around. Exactly. What else we got? Move it on.
Then we had Hood Ninjaichi Gaming and Entertainment $5 super chat. My bad, I misspelled it. It's the Heinlein system southeast of Crix, Kryx. Salute to the lords from UAW.
Oh, salute. Much love.
And we're caught up. We're good.
Cool. Let's get into it. Now, this is the big one. Obviously, we had to get my man's David Jaffe in on this one. And we're going to talk ConnieBooth and obviously potential PlayStation studios changing. Some say Turmoil. There's a lot. Obviously, this was per Axis, but they gave proper credit to Lord David Jaffe on the sourcing. And ConnieBooth, who started at PlayStation in '97 before the platform's launch.
She started in 87.
80s. Wow. Taking it back.
Not PlayStation, but it's Sony. Or
Sony.
89, I think. 89.
Salute.
Yeah.
That's OG talk. So, head of internal game production, no longer at the company, as first noted by David Jaffe. And, some of the Hall of Fame credentials include production oversight of PlayStation classics ranging from Siphon Filter, Ratchet & Clank, to The Last of Us, Marvel Spider-Man. It says Booth has not commented, and Sony has not clarified the reason for her exit. And a statement by Axios, the PlayStation reps said Booth helped drive the success PlayStation Studios is experiencing today, and her passion in fostering an environment where a team's creative vision could fully flourish has left a positive impact on many game developers. We're thankful for Connie's numerous contributions to the company and wish her the best in future endeavors. Also, the article goes on to talk about other internal things with Sony Media Molecule Studio, makers of Little Big Planet and Dreams, says it's laying off some workers following significant strategic changes. So, obviously, Jaffe, you had a lot of this on your YouTube channel. You broke this first. There were some specific points that you made I want to kind of list and then ask you kind of like in question format, if you're cool.
Yeah.
So, all right, one of the first things was ConnieBooth was not let go. She not retired. She was fired. So, Lord Jaffe, why is her firing opposed to like a layoff or resignation significant? And then educate me who doesn't know why she's so revered, why, so many people like yourself internally speak up for her in production. Like, what's the history here?
Well, again, so, I mean, she hasn't said anything. So there's, all I can tell you is I have like 4 people telling me what happened to her at Sony and to her out of Sony. And they're all like, no, she was fired. So the significance of it, there's 2 things that are very significant. The first thing is if you look at who she is and what she has done. I mean, the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences 2 years ago put her in the Hall of Fame. This is not a woman who's out to pasture and they're like, hey, thanks for all the fish, goodbye. This is a woman who literally less than a month ago, you know, her crew put out Spider-Man 2, which is kind of the only fucking freaking game that, you know, that Sony had. I mean, MLB, of course, you know, workhorse of Sony is MLB, but you know, that's not like she's over. She's still totally plugged in doing what she does. Her guys plugged in doing what they do. So part of it is like, okay, it's significant because this is somebody who's making you guys a lot of money and her leadership has been very valuable over decades. She's not ready to be done. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not like, okay, your last 4 games, you're just out of the zeitgeist now, not a big deal. We love you, but you know, that's how business works. Right. That's not what was happening. And then the other reason it's significant is it shines a light on the fact that because Sony, I think on Colin's show, he was talking about this, you know, given the vacuum that we are in when it comes to information from Sony, we're all left just to speculate and make crap up, and no one really knows. But it's one of those. It's one more pretty significant brick, especially after Jim Ryan retiring and or maybe being pushed out. I don't know. That says, okay, what is happening over there? The factions thing, the Connie thing, the Jim thing, and I don't think it's, you know, I look at it. And I have some information that I actually reached out to Tillo at Axios. And I said, this guy reached out to me. He's at Sony. He knows all kinds of stuff. He laid it all bare. He told me about Jim Ryan and what he thinks of Jim Ryan and what happened with Connie. And, you know, but I said, it's one guy. I said, yeah, he's at Sony and he's a longtime Sony guy, but I don't, he's like, yeah, you shouldn't, you know, unless you got some other sources, don't get into that. But the point though is I think if people are out there going Connie and then Jim Ryan and then factions, and how much control Bungie's having, and Totillo's or Schreier, Lil Jason Schreier's earlier reporting about the studios being unhappy with games as a service, at least some of them. I think it's a valid, and the information source I'm talking about tracks with this. It's a valid thing to go, that foundation right now is being shaken up, and where they come out the other side or what that looks like, and whose vision is running the day in terms of, do we stay with games as a service as at the level we thought we were? Do we pivot a little bit back? You know, that is why it's significant, because it's just one more really big reason to go, yeah, they're struggling to kind of sail into the next sort of epoch of the games industry, which they have dominated for so long. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I think in a lot of ways, Xbox is going through, I was talking to somebody earlier, it's like Xbox, I'm a big Phil Spencer fan. I'm a big Game Pass fan. But I've always been very critical of their production management when it comes to first party and all that.
Consistent.
And I'm still like, Matt Booty was promoted. I'm sorry, what? But and I don't know the guy. He may, you know, but whatever. But it's not the point. The point is though, is that they, you know, it takes time to learn. Even though these are trillion, in one case, dollar companies, it takes time to learn how to do this. And it seems like Xbox has struggled for a while, and they're still struggling, but they're getting better, I think, to learn how to become the kind of management studio that Sony was. I think Sony now is put into this position where, as Sean Layden predicted 4 years ago, the things that they've kind of made their brilliance in, which is the single player cinematic, all that stuff.
Just one.
It's becoming harder and harder to justify those budgets because the profits aren't as much, because, you know, and there's not new gamers coming in. And so they're having to go, okay, well, how do we still, you know, rule this industry and take what we're great at, but we have to pivot somewhere. Things are changing. So it really is it's a fascinating and just, you know, very interesting to me perspective to stand back and watch all this from a 30,000 foot view and go, where are these guys going to come out the other end? Are they going to be able to figure out how to sustain these big games? I mean,
Come out the other end.
Pause, King. Pause on King. Continue, Jerry. You being messy. Continue.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's quite interesting to me, and it does remind me. Speaking of Iwata's Ghost, but I saw Iwata speak at GDC a couple years back, or 10 years back now, and he was talking about how in trouble Nintendo was when I think it was like out of the GameCube era, right before the 3DS or the DS or whatever it was, and he gave this now very tropey, but at the time none of us had heard it, analogy. He said, Coke and Pepsi used to battle like crazy, and it was then it was Pepsi, then it was Coke, and and then suddenly something happened and Coke just took over and Pepsi couldn't get a break. And so instead of continuing to try to beat Coke and swim in those bloody red waters, he says they absolutely reinvented themselves and they started bottling water. And they became now Coke is taken over that too, but at the time though, their bottled water, that changed everything for them.
Yes.
But it's like, but you're Pepsi, you don't make water. It's like, well, we do now.
You got to reinvent yourself.
I think when you hear Iwata talking about how they had to do that at Nintendo and go, okay, we're not going to be able to compete with the Sonys and whatever. I guess Microsoft was out at the time. Microsoft's the world on fidelity, on production value. What are we good at? Okay, let's do the 3DS and the DS, and let's do the Wii, and suddenly everything changed for these guys. So I think there's nothing to, it's a company, it doesn't have shame, but there's nothing to feel bad about. I mean, this is how business gets done. This is how I hope there's a visionary at Sony right now. Maybe it's Scott Rhodey, maybe it's a new person we've never heard of. Maybe it's Herman Holst. I don't know. Maybe it's Druckmann. Who knows? Who is going, I got this. I have this. I see what this can be, because I think they need that. But I think every company needs that. Apple used to have it. He was an asshole, but Jobs knew what he knew, and now they're just kind of awful. But anyway,
I want to follow up because the pivot part is the part I really, let's say, confused about. But I personally, this is my take. I understand. Based on what you say, like we know Sony, PlayStation, what I call them the hashtag just one, the AAA, the cinematic, narrative-based focus game, high graphical fidelity, that bit, right? And you made a fantastic point as far as the revenue, right? And those maybe not being able to generate what they're looking for in this climate with games as a service. So in my opinion, games as a service is the correct pivot on some level, right? The question is twofold. One, if Jim Ryan's message was this, right, internally from what, you kind of had said, and then he either retires or pushed out, whatever it is, right? And my thing is, the first question is, if that was Jim Ryan's vision, why is Connie getting blamed for it, in a sense, right? And then the second part is, tell me how you feel about this theory I have in reference to Bungie being there overlooking the games and service, right? Because I look at it as, okay, we have a new adopted child in the house. And he go by his own rule. He don't have to go to bed at 10 o'clock. He listens to his own thing. And he gets to tell the other kids what to do when it comes to their projects, right? So for me, even though Bungie, I love them. I'm a Destiny fan. I'm a Halo guy. I think they make nothing but the greatest, shooters as far as feeling shooters. But I can understand resentment in the building if they're telling and canceling projects. So again, the first thing, games of service, why does it fall on Connie? Two, Bungie potentially being problematic in the family, so to speak.
So on the Connie thing, I mean, I have one person's answer. That's the guy I can't really get into, but I asked him that. I said, this doesn't make any sense. The thing to know, I think, is that when people say it fell on Connie, what we don't know is, does that mean that oh no, the Last of Us faction, I mean, literally look at it this way. The Last of Us factions hired the guy who figured out how to monetize Fortnite and not make a game that was pay for power. And it became the biggest free to play game, certainly from America ever. Phenomenal. That guy left.
Yeah.
Right, that guy left, which means okay, whatever their plan was, his plan was clearly Bungie wasn't interested. And so what we don't know is, was it Jim Ryan, getting cozy with Bungie and saying, hello, governor, you just guess what the Bungie people say, and maybe Connie was there going, look, I've managed at some level. I mean, Naughty Dog doesn't really need that oversight anymore, but she's been with them since Crash, right?
Yeah.
It's like these guys are upset, they're pissed. You got to, I'm not saying that happened, but I'm saying that it could mean when we say that she was fired over that, is she just bashed heads with Jim Ryan going, look, these guys are your bread and butter. You're going to literally tell Neil Druckmann, who's probably about to get an Emmy nomination for Last of Us, that, and by the way, I don't think Jim or Bungie would be wrong. I mean, it's just like Xbox right now. There are things that you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And if Bungie came in and gave a valid criticism of their stickiness of their game,
stickiness was the word,
then I mean, one would like to think Naughty Dog would say, oh, I hate that you're right, but you're right. Yep. Let us go back, we'll get back. And that may be what's happening, right? So it could be that, though, that Connie pushed back on Jim because there was this kind of turmoil. It also could be that everybody agreed when Jim Ryan started to pivot to the games as a service. It's like, oh, that sucks. But at least he said there's a lot of money still being spent on the single player stuff. And but everybody was like, yeah, they need this. This is where a lot, if you can get one or two of these big hits. What the hell?
King is ready to burst. Okay, Go ahead, King. Clearly,
I just got a question. I got a question.
The other end.
That part was really crazy. But is Rome burning?
Here we go.
Because my thought process has always been, Sony won't be taken down from outside interference. They will implode from inside. And I've always felt that great nations and great kingdoms has always done it to themselves. So
no, I don't think it's that dramatic. I don't.
Okay.
Because I think Sony is out of necessity responding to the changes in the market and frankly the generational changes. I mean, kids today, they're, I'm not saying they don't play console games, but they're on Discord playing Discord games with their friends, and they're playing Roblox, they're playing Fortnite. They have a very different perspective of what it means to game, than people our generation, my generation, whatever.
Right.
And so I think Sony is right to go, okay, we got to get our hands around this and make it work for us without hurting all of our other stuff that people love us for. And so I don't remember anybody when Jim Ryan came out and announced this that they were like, "Oh, you're an idiot." I think everybody was like, "Yeah." And what has happened in that time since, though, is we have just seen a just blood red sea of really good games that have come out that were games of service that are no longer active.
Yes.
Right.
And so I think there was an assumption that, not that it's easy, nothing's ever easy in video games, but it's like, okay, we can do this, and they probably can. But I think maybe that kind of the worm turned a little bit on people's going, shit, man, we had to, put factions on ice and or cancel it, depending on who you ask. We premiered Jade Raymond's game at the showcase, and even though the game wasn't shown, nobody was like, nobody really cared. Hyenas just got canceled before it came out.
Right.
Apparently that game that's out, the finals this weekend in beta, most people are like, yeah, it's cool, but I'm not going to play it for more than, a day or two. And they've already moved on from a beta. What was the game that Square Enix just put out on beta?
Was it the Foam? Was it Foam Stars?
Foam Stars. I mean, I heard a lot of people saying that was great at Jeff Keighley's show, and I was excited for it. I'm 52, so I'm not their target audience, but I couldn't play it more than, around. And I'm like, yeah, this is not for me. So no one's talking about that. Like, oh, I can't wait for Foam Stars to come back. I'm not hearing any of that. But what I am hearing, though, on the flip side is, Ubisoft just released a bunch of their quarterly reports, and Mirage did well, which surprised me. The Crew 2 or Motorfest, which is awesome, did well. But they said their biggest moneymaker or their biggest financial surprise was Rainbow Six Siege is still delivering.
Yeah, it's a beast
for those guys,
it's a
right?
Beast.
Right. So I don't think it's right to say going games as a service for Sony is stupid. I think it's dumb. I think it's, MLB makes the money as a semi games as a service, right?
First party studio.
But what we don't know with Connie is, was she protecting the team? Was she protecting the vision? And Jim wanted to pivot. There's also, by the way, there's a let's just say this without giving away any of the details. There is a narrative that it's been shared with me that it's not even that logical.
Okay.
That some of the people in the narrative, whether you're talking Jim or Connie or Sean Layden or Herman Holz, I'm not going to get into the specifics, but let's just say there's a narrative that exists that say some of those people aren't or are pretty fucking petty. And there may be a narrative regarding, I'm going to burn some stuff down.
Before I go.
I didn't say that.
Okay, well, listen. Okay, you know what? Okay, so you didn't say, but I did. Right. So the thing is, because it doesn't make any sense.
And I'm not saying that's true. I
know.
That's out there.
Yeah, no, I heard something similar. Right. The thing is, Jim is gone the next fiscal period at the end, like I predicted anyway. But her leaving now, like getting fired now, if there's a conflict of interest between the two or teams, whatever, and he's a foregone conclusion, it just seems like petty. Let me remove this.
And not only that, King, not to interrupt you, aren't we hearing her team in conjunction with her?
I don't know if the team walked out. This was the thing.
Yeah, that's the key distinction. We don't know. We're all speculating, but
from what I heard, and you know way more than me. What I heard was, I thought it was a walkout, right? So I didn't hear the rest of the information, and then I got some of the rest of the information, and I'm probably getting the secondhand from you, not knowing that it is indirect to individuals that's sharing the information. That it was a walkout, but I didn't know if it was her. But then I'm hearing that she got fired, so I don't know if the team walked out after she got fired.
She doesn't have a development team as far as I know, but she had like producers, right? I don't know if Brady Hunt was still with her, who's been long time Insomniac first party producer with Insomniac, much loved fella, probably on track to get a nominee or ushered into Academy of Active Arts and Sciences, all that. I mean,
Beast.
Her team was awesome. When you talk about what Microsoft doesn't have in production management, for first and second party, her whole team was awesome. Now, I did ask that, and what they said was there's a few people left, and we know what's her name, Angie Smets from Gorilla is going to come in.
Right?
It sounds like that, and then I guess they're going to split some of her. I saw somebody saying that like Rhodey was going to take over some of her teams or some of her external, like maybe he would oversee Insomniac and somebody else would oversee this. But the point being though is her team. I did hear that a number of them were also out when she was out. Now, whether they were fired or they walked because they were protesting, I have no idea.
See, and again, I'll give it back to you, King. I interrupted you.
No. It's fine because he answered the question. I just felt that it was just weird in the sense that this individual is definitely gone. Like he's definitely put out information that I'm out of here, I'm retiring, regardless to what, if he was fired or whatever, and he had to sign the paperwork saying, I'm out of here. But why is she tied to this rock?
Right. That's my thing, King. Because my thing is, it all, again, regardless if it was a walkout or they were all fired, to me that represents culture, right? That represents obviously she's revered. She gets things done. Like the vibe I'm getting, Jaffe, is like this is the finisher. This is the person not only who spawns great ideas in some of their greatest franchises, but also gets things across the finish line. I guess from a production standpoint.
She is in the best way possible, a beast.
A beast, right?
You do not want her as an enemy. Let's put it that way. She plays the game well.
She plays the game. So the closest equivalent I could say on the Xbox side back in the day was like Ferguson, right? He was revered for he gets it done. We had Cliffy B on. He was like, look, no one, I will never say nothing bad about that man. That man got things done and got us over the finish line. I wish he would go back to Microsoft. I know.
And I mean, he is kind of officially now.
Yeah. I'm with you.
I wish they would go to him and say, dude, you need to run development.
I'm with you. I said, regardless of whatever happens to ABK, I hope they retain him, and I'm totally with you there. But back on point with this, so it's like, I guess when I hear you talk and I watch your video, and first of all, credit to you because you got a lot of arrows thrown your way. A lot of people was hating and saying, oh, but you doom and glooming and it's not that bad, and Jaffe sources, and then you get vindicated. But the key thing that you said to me that resonated was like, you said, look, this is a sad day, at PlayStation based on the history and based on what she's done and based on the team. So again, to what King is talking about, if this is the case and she's like the soul in a sense, like this is before PlayStation started, right? So if that's the case, it's like, again, we don't know if she was in conjunction with Ryan's vision or not, but for her to take the fall for this seems strange. It doesn't feel right.
But we just we just don't have there's scenarios like it could have been, it was. And this is not like Connie, but like I said, the woman's been around. She's done this stuff, and maybe she's just like, okay, enough. Maybe she just went to Jim Ryan and said, you're an idiot. I don't know how insubordinate it was, if it was at all, but it could have been literally a case for firing because he was just disrespecting all these people that had basically, without them, he would have no job.
Right.
Or she could have agreed and they both got thrown under the bus together if he indeed got thrown. Or it also, I mean, I know, and I'm sure you guys have heard too, that Sony is doing a lot of serious belt tightening right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
All their studios. And it could have been as simple, but they would never say this, as going, you just put Spider-Man out. You're in line to get a huge bonus when the money's come in. Right. And your salary, is probably deep into the six figures. We probably can't afford an executive like you, especially now that Naughty Dog pretty much runs itself. Insomniac pretty much runs itself. I mean, I'm not taking away from what Grady does, but I'm saying that it's not like it was maybe in the past. And this is me making stuff up.
Of course,
I'm saying
we're all speculating.
There's a lot of places you could go with why they said goodbye. But what I do hear though is there's some pettiness at play, and what I can say, because people have said it before and it's been discussed before, and so I'm not giving away anything, I wouldn't want to do that, is, there's been a lot of speculation about how Sean Layden got removed. And, and the more I hear, the more that, at first I heard it about Alan Becker, and I got it direct that he's like, I heard that they called, like on, I don't know what day it was, a Tuesday, and said your last day is Friday. Wow. And that was it. This is the guy who was the first employee.
Facts.
And had done, you would have no Twisted Metal, no God of War. Probably, I don't know, I mean, there's a lot of games he ushered in. He was there when Bloodborne in Japan. I'm not saying he wasn't ready to go, but that was the first thing, like, Jesus, that's not just good cutthroat business. Like, you got to be cutthroat. That's mean.
Yeah, right? That's a squat you out the building.
Well, then
that was
Alan.
Oh, it's Alan. Okay, sorry. Yeah, it's different. Sure, I'm getting confused. Sure.
Yeah.
Apparently, this is becoming more clear by a number of people, and not like I said, I'm not giving this one source. That it was really offensive. I mean, it was like they did him very, very dirty getting him out of there, and so
But it's like, how can you? I'm sorry, you go jump. Like I struggle with legends being treated this way. And maybe again, I'm outside looking.
Rome is burning.
I get it, but Saul, like, do you not see what I'm saying? See it though? Like, isn't that just wild disrespect?
But it's not just the disrespect. It's you're right, but it's the ability to maneuver politically well enough that you can convince the powers that be to give you a position that clearly someone else has proven what they know and what they know how to do.
Wow.
Like, Layden, I think, was a much better executive than Jim Ryan, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I can't have the numbers, and people say, well, look what Jim Ryan did with PS5. I'm like, yeah, but that's built off
the old joint. But we got to give him Europe though. I got to defend Jim on Europe with their growth there. But I feel what you're saying.
Jim Ryan at all. I'm just saying that Sean. It wasn't like Sean was like, of course.
Oh, that's a legend.
Yeah. I mean, he still had and still has a lot to offer, and so the idea, in my opinion, that he was sort of, the more I hear, he was treated so just like,
wow,
it's Trash Tuesday, so you're trash, you're out. I'm just like, are you out of your mind? So let's just say this: if there's a pettiness going on, I'm glad that it may not be going on for too much longer. Whatever.
Saab, I need you to jump in, and I got something for King after this. I want your thoughts on this. I got you. I need your thoughts on all this.
I just think at the end of the day, everything is money. Everything is money. And when you talk about the disrespect to these legends, we've seen it before. Konami gets fed up with Kojima. We don't really care what you've done. We don't care what you've done for us. You're gone. And when the powers that be are more focused on a different direction, and you clash with that direction in any way, shape, or form, it doesn't feel like you're going to be on board with it, or you're going to use whatever clout you have internally at that point to try to set up roadblocks to that stuff happening, they're going to get you out of there. And if it has to be, and I think in a lot of ways, maybe they gave her the opportunity to walk out and say, hey, walk away and do it on your terms, and everything's going to be nice and beautiful. Or if you refuse and you want to die on that hill, cool, we appreciate that, but we're going to walk you out of the building. And that's just the way it is. And that's just business. When cash rules everything, it doesn't matter what you've done for them. It matters what you've done lately for them.
I'm sorry, please finish.
And we as fans may see that as a disrespect because of what they've done to that point. To that company, they're an employee. And again, they're more than willing to give them their flowers if they go out on the terms that they dictate for them. If they don't want to do that, they're going to walk you out like a criminal or whatever, and they're going to make sure, and that's just the nature of it. So for me,
but go ahead, sorry.
I mean, just speculating completely as to what might have happened, it really does feel like, to Jaffe's point, she was not on board with what was happening, at least to the extent to which it was happening, right? It's one thing to say, hey, we need to start dipping our toes into this in order to also to show
another thing to tell every first-party studio, you better make one of those.
It's to make these guys.
I didn't say that happened.
And I know you didn't say that.
I don't know if that's what happened.
Right. But that's another thing that we're assuming might have happened, is that this you're telling the teams that are known for doing a certain thing extremely well at the top of the game in the industry, you're telling them to pivot to something else because we have to make this X amount of money. And then at the same time, he also did the right thing by bringing in teams and bringing in people that know how to do that and working on that as well. So it seems like at some point that pivot went extremely in one direction, meaning more of like, hey, everything's going to have some sort of a game of service sort of application to it. And everything that we put out is going to be somewhat in this realm, whether we still put out our single player, 15-hour narrative games. There's going to be some component to it. And maybe that's something that she wasn't on board with. If you look at her history, she's only really worked on single player stuff, right? Because that's been their DNA.
She did SOCOM. She did SOCOM.
Oh, she did that. Okay,
Yeah,
so she did. Okay, so I'll take that back.
Yeah.
So she was part of that. Now, going back to that SOCOM MAG, those are maybe MAG is a bigger thing, but those are it's different when it's a multiplayer
they
game.
Weren't service games.
Right. They're not service games.
There's
right.
a difference, yeah.
Right. And I think we've talked about this, the fact that the pivot was correct. We've always felt it was a little late to the party, right? And when you're late to the party and you've already seen so many other great games just fall to the wayside simply because people don't have the bandwidth for them. You're thinking that we're going to drop 10 or 15 of these, the hope that one or two of them hits and allows us to continue to make money hand over fist off of them in a world where, people's bandwidth is going to a Fortnite, a Warzone, or is going to a Siege or something like that. You have to now create another niche for that thing within your, and again, an ecosystem that you have not clarified that you were going to expand upon. So now you're creating a niche, within a walled garden, not saying that you're going to go to the PC, right? So if that isn't something, because to me, if you're doing that, that's something that we should know about already.
Yeah, it should be everywhere.
Right? So if that is the case, and you're saying, oh, we're going to do this within this closed PlayStation ecosystem, and I'm ConnieBooth, I'm like, okay, now the choices that you're making, whether I agree with them or not, you're not even making sound business decisions around it, right? And expanding the people that we reach with these games doesn't make a whole lot of sense. That, again, speculation. I just kind of feel like they were butting heads completely on ideologies, and it was time to go. And again, it just kind of feels like her thinking is, we can do multiplayer, right? We can do that. But it's, and it was my point when I talked about, why does factions have to be this huge thing? Well, I understand, because they separated it out as part. It's not a part of The Last of Us Part 2 anymore. It's its own game. I understand that it has to be something bigger. I understand that you have to make it into something that has that stickiness, that you have people coming back to because of the amount of money invested into it. I get that. And I just think it was going too far in that direction. And that's not something she was on board for. And
that's your theory.
It just really feels like, now the scary part about that, right? When you look at PlayStation and what people expect of PlayStation, obviously I would think it's ridiculously stupid to pivot completely away from them games and, hey, we're not giving you these type of games anymore. You see the success of a Spider-Man, people's excitement for a Wolverine, people's excitement for a Ghost of Tsushima sequel, stuff like that, and the next Last of Us. So those things are still going to be there. But I think the cadence of those games is going to be stretched out even more. These games may take, and Jaffe, I'm interested.
Unless Herman Hulst has a plan where he says, look, wait a minute, this is ridiculous. Alan Wake just shipped for $50 million.
Yeah.
It took him a couple of years to make.
Yep.
It's a game of the year contender for a lot of people. We can still make the kind of games we're beloved for, but we got to figure out, that's our pivot, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what, who knows? If I was Herman Hulst, I'd be going, what are they doing there at Remedy that we should try?
That's the Sean Layden point. It's like, hey, we have to figure out how to be able to make these games for less money, because the budgets are out of control. The amount of time we're spending making them is out of control, right? So how do we do that? And then to your point, exactly, Remedy, Alan Wake proper went into production, 4 or 5 years ago, although it's been an idea in the making for the past 13 years. But it is something that you have to look at and say, hey, look at this level of quality. So maybe we don't make Ragnarok a 35-hour single-player game, a narrative game. We make it a 20-hour game.
Right. And maybe we have Wolverine taking place in the same universe as Spider-Man, as they announced.
They've confirmed.
Because maybe we have a third of the game set in New York that we already have built. And we'll add stuff and we'll make it feel fresh, but we're not going to reinvent the wheel. Insomniac, out of all the studios out there doing AAA, seems to know the formula for going, we're going to reinvent the wheel as much as we can, but we're also going to ship on time, and we're not going to kill our teams. And so there is something to be said for that, trauma that's occurring in the industry right now around single player AAA, and going, what may emerge from that is someone cracks the nut and says, we can still make viable, great single player big games. We've just kind of gone a little crazy with these, like you said, 70-hour games and all that stuff.
I think there's bloat all the way around, and I think what's going to happen is, this is going to be a very, very bumpy ride. Because when we talk about bloat, people are going to lose their jobs. If they come to the correct decision is, how do we figure out how to de-bloat this thing and make quality games within a reasonable amount of time with reasonable budgets? At the end of the day, that means people lose their job. That's what's going to happen.
I want to ask.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I got to ask. I know you've been patient. Me and you, we've been through all the PlayStation eras, right? Me and you, you were the first. I'll never forget that, that gray system.
Don't forget about me.
You were there too.
Damn.
I love you, brother. I love you. I love you. But you got to say, King is my source, because I was broke. So he gets the imports, right? And I'm like, I'm mooching. I'm just gonna keep it real, Jaffy. I'm mooching. I'm young
That's
cog.
two
I don't
of
got
us
money.
mooching.
We mooching. He brings Japanese PlayStation. We like, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing. I see Bandai Namco's Ridge Racer, Tekken on the System 11 board. I'm blown away. Jumping Flash, all these crazy games.
Jumping Flash.
Well, Battle Arena to Chin. I'm hooked. I'm like, Sony all day. Let's go. They killed Dreamcast. Oh well, like whatever, right? So my thing is, to me, it's like what we know them for, and then we, according to Jaffe, like, she's part of this. Like, she's the essence of this, right? And continues on with a lot of their biggest games. So I look at that as like culture, what defines you, right? And then I remember, King, you remember, like, PS3 came out, right?
Yep.
And then it was a little bit of a, let's say culture change, but attitude change. You know, hey, we gotta get another job. for this.
Kataruji was going.
Yeah,
He was
hubris.
swinging.
A little hubris, right?
Well,
Come off
Ken
the
Kataruji
PS2.
was swinging for the fences. On
Right.
his box.
Now, he
So-
was swinging for the fences and the goalpost.
Yeah.
He was
Right.
tearing it up.
So,
yeah.
Because
This
he
is
wanted
my-
you to have 2 jobs.
King, this is facts for the George
but-
Foreman Grill one. I remember
But
that.
listen, conversations has been told for us to have the same thing. You know, shout out to Todd Howard. Let's go.
So my question, King, is like this. Maybe I'm overreacting. I don't want to get doom and gloom, but it's like these are people who made the culture of who you are, right?
Right.
This is the essence of why you're successful.
Tell the
right?
truth.
Is this part of like, I don't want to say like the arrogant heel turn again? Like, are we going because we're
No, this
selling
is the
so
depth.
well?
They're not going to get off of this one.
But here's the king. In defense, though, they are selling so well. So you can be sitting there and look like, look. But I'm saying, forget
But-
about. I know your theory
but
about the
all right, so
scalpers,
all right.
but let's
No,
get
just
to
go for it. Go for it,
all I'm
because-
saying is,
Yeah.
the brass tack says the console is moving. It is successful, even though we're seeing all these things and
It's-
some potential issues. Right? Is it a situation where you can sit like, hey, we don't got to really change because look, you know, they gonna buy it regardless. You know,
Right.
They gonna do what we want them to do. So, do you see hubris? What do you see out of all of this? Is my
I already
question to
told you Rome was burning a long time ago. This is just a dignified fact of you're gonna see it. It's you're seeing the
What
magnifying
does that
glass.
mean Rome is burning? You
Let's-
mean
He gonna break it down. He
All
gonna
right,
break this
remember
down.
the
Here it is,
Roman
Jeffrey.
Empire. The
No, I
Roman
know what
Empire.
happened in Rome, but how does it relate to PlayStation?
Well, they're Rome. Right now,
Okay.
they're Rome.
Okay.
Right, regardless to what they say moves the needle. They have people that are literally can watch a buggy mess of a situation and don't report the bugs because we're not going to do that. Like this is Rome. We're going to hold Rome up to a different standard. This is Rome. If you're down with Rome, it's Rome, right? And
So Connie is Christ and they killed her?
no, wait, stop that. No.
Yo, that was wild.
No, Jeffrey, no. No, Jeffrey, no. No, it's
Sunday of all days.
It's Sunday.
right? You're wild, Jeffrey. You're wild.
Brett, why is it
For our
burning?
sake.
No, stop it now. Let's leave that narrative alone.
Continue, sir.
Y'all are kind of crazy.
Jim Ryan, why have you forsaken me? Anyway, I'm done. Go ahead.
He said he's pumping pilot. Hey, stop it. Now the thing is this. First of all, I don't know how she got tossed with this rock. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
But I'm not internal. Okay, so I do understand beef, right? And they both been there for 30 years, right? That beef could have started a long time ago. And he know he out the door. He said, but before I go,
I'm sorry. I'm going to shut up. But you got a guy in the chat that says Connie's coming back after 3 days.
Yo! They wild. The chat wild.
y'all out of control. She gonna come back after Easter.
Continue your story. I want to hear this. I want to hear the beef.
I'm sorry.
No, it's just the fact of the matter is, it just seems like, like you said, it looks kind of petty from the outside and from anybody that's close to it. I don't know if every day they was exchanging them glances. You understand? Like, I'm not down with what you down with, or maybe she was. Like, maybe she was down to this, and they're seeing the problems. I see. This is their COVID situation. Microsoft went through it. They didn't have games that were ready to go at that period of time. So their COVID situation hit them a whole lot harder in the beginning of the generation. Sony had a lot of PlayStation games. And remember, they believed in generations, but then it was like they had to pull that back and just extend the generation a little bit further to keep them moving
Yeah.
while they get going, right? And at the same time, Jim is like, okay, we're going to consolidate this. That's the Europe stuff. We're going to move this away from Japan. We're going to condense this. And now we can do the pivot to the games of service because we still had these games that were keeping us going along at this period of time. They will always hit that number. That number of 100 million, there's 100 million people that will buy these consoles, right? That will happen. They have a loyal fan base that will happen, but that's not enough. That has never been enough. So that's not going to get them to where they want to be. The reason why I said Rome is burning is because we're having all this internal conflict, and we have individuals that has been at this company for 30 plus years. People that's integral to the DNA. You said if she's the soul and she has been in places to help stuff get past the line, to get stuff over that edge, if she's removed and you're being hit with the onslaught of Game Pass and large acquisitions and games actually moving, Microsoft getting that machine moving, how do you pivot? How do you make it happen where you can't make mistakes? This is why I'm saying Rome is burning. Right?
But when you say Rome is burning, you mean they're going to be gone?
Oh, hear this, Jaffe. Hear this. Tell him, King.
They can never be gone because of the IPs that they have, right? I believe they're going to be out of the console space. Yes.
Tell him specifically what you said.
Oh, there ain't going to be no PlayStation 6.
Yes, that's what he said.
Okay.
He said it's gonna be
I stand on that.
He said
it's not going to be.
Make sure
you're
going to be consistent.
6. No, always. I don't care who you bring in front of me.
Okay, but that's not true. But
all right. Okay. So
he's standing on his Jaffe.
Yeah,
they're making it. PlayStation 7, maybe.
Research and development is fantastic until it's not. Production is great until it says no. Right?
Continue. He's standing on this. I respect it.
I've been in places where I saw machines and I saw dev kits and I saw stuff getting ready, and those stuff never came out, never happened. And
shout out to the 3DO. Shout out to M2. You still waiting for your 3DO M2. Me and Chip Hawkins and you.
Yeah, me and him.
Chip told us the story.
Yeah, we having lunch and stuff. Man,
we have that story, Jaffe. It's funny in New York.
I can't wait to get Trip here.
Yeah, we got to get Trip on the show. Continue.
But the fact of the matter is this. I believe they're going to make that position that switch over when a couple of these games of service don't hit, right? It's very hard to make those games stick. It's good that you have the DNA with the Spider-Man. I'm playing Spider-Man, and I'm like, yup, it feels like God of War. It feels like Last of Us. It feels like Horizon. They got that DNA, that thread that moves in between those games, that production value. It's high. I'm looking at Spider-Man so close on the screen. I'm like, look at the detail. It's so beautiful. But how do you make that pivot to games of service?
I see.
Right?
Well, they're trying. I mean, they bought Bungie. Marathon actually looks potentially cool.
Mm-hmm.
But Bungie is not going to stick around, and you know it.
The Bungie has no choice. Bungie's owned. You mean the talent?
Yes.
Oh, I mean, who knows? I don't know. I mean, Sony tends to. Bungie's a weird one because Sony, for all their lip service, there is truth that they do tend to acquire companies they already have good relationships with. It's not like, because if that was the case, Ted Price wouldn't be there anymore. Or, I mean, Jason Rubin and Andy, Gavin?
Gavin, yeah. We had Rubin on.
Yeah, I mean, so those guys stuck around. I don't think they left the minute their Keyman clause was done. But I think with Bungie, you could be right because I don't think there's any real loyalty.
Right. But the last 4 or 5 acquisitions have kind of not been relationship based. I feel like Nexus,
Jade Raymond's,
Fire Sprite, that kind of thing. Was at Firewall. I can't remember the other one, but I hear what you're saying though.
Let me say this, unless are you King?
No, I'm done. Go ahead, do you?
Okay. Well, no, because it relates to what you were saying and Sovereign saying, which is this idea of, at a lot of companies, you know, there are enough redundancies because people slide in over the years that you say, of course we can say goodbye to this guy, but this guy or this lady has it, right?
Right.
But and maybe there are people, I'm just not aware of them, but I'm like, I look at the roadies and the booths and the Druckmans and the Corys and the people who right now, and there's more of them than that, Ted Price and all those guys that are, these aren't new people who have just burst onto the scene. And it's like, it's okay. They got the Hi-Fi Rush guy, even though Mikami's out.
Yeah.
This guy's the one who, who at PlayStation as these people do peel off, it's even at Nintendo, Miyamoto is basically a figurehead for the most part at this point, but we can name names of people that have come and learned how to make that magic and give it their own spin. Where is that at PlayStation right now?
That's the question.
Does it exist? It might exist. I may just be blanking on names, but I'm like, these guys, the guy who just directed Spider-Man, the guy who directed Miles and is directing Wolverine, these aren't new guys. They just picked up. These are, these are lifers for the most part with the Sony relationship. So if you are going to push these people out, then
what's the plan?
What's next?
Yeah, that's my question.
The other thing I will say though about it's important to add to one of the other narratives that's going around is Sony Japan.
I was just about to go there. Go ahead. I was going to lead you up.
Been pleased with Jim Ryan. Now I don't know if that's true, but when I was annoyed as a former PlayStation guy who has colleagues and a couple of friends still there, when he's like, we can't compete with Call of Duty. Now,
hell yeah, I hated that statement.
I understand.
I loved it.
Okay, but I understand that
the hustle
part of
for
that
regulators.
may have been right, exactly. But it wasn't a good look. But so what? If they would have killed the deal,
Jim is the man.
That's right.
Yeah.
But given that he's kind of being kind of disrespectful publicly as a tactic and it doesn't work, given the fact that the acquisition did go through, given the fact that games as a service is looking a lot harder maybe than we all, including me, thought it would be for them 3 years ago, 2 years ago.
The pivot may have been too strong, and
I'm implying that maybe Jim wasn't retiring to go see his family more. Maybe he was.
Oh, King is cooking right now.
I don't know that. I'm just saying that's another narrative I've heard out there, and it does kind of make sense that you're looking at an executive that kind of presided over the Activision.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not that he could have done anything. You're talking about legalities, and
of course
there were probably a gajillion lawyers guiding it.
He could have did a lot. He could have took the deal. He could have took the deal.
Well, wait a minute though.
That was the worst negotiation tactic.
But King,
the deal. You
but King, I would Jaffe on that, King. You can't take that deal.
Let me hear
All right,
Jaffe.
get Jaffe. My fault. Get Jaffe.
Because Jaffe, if I offer you this deal, do you take this deal, Jaffe? In the beginning deal.
If you Jim Ryan,
I want to do that Denzel lip quiver like I'm in the movies, and I want to, because I love it when he does that. Then he delivers a great speech. I don't know. I mean, look. Honestly, what Jim Ryan probably did, he's not a moron. He probably went to the lawyers, of which there are many, and said, talk to me about the probability of this case going through. And if it turns out that they sold him on the idea that, no, we can totally block this, then I wouldn't have taken the deal, because my where I steer that ship is based on the people around me who are smarter than me in certain areas.
Talk to him. Talk to him, Jeffrey.
Regardless,
now watch this.
Regardless, though, it all comes down, though, to some people. They're like, okay, all that's great, but when the rubber meets the road, we don't have Call of Duty in 10
Facts and the money.
We now have to figure out, why. I don't know if you guys saw that Eric Limpel PR dance he did when he was explaining how people love the value that PS Plus gives.
Yeah, I did see that.
I have PS Plus. It's fine. There's certain things I love the trials they do and stuff, but it's no Game Pass. That's
it's a fact.
And it never and it's not meant to be blah blah blah. But ultimately, just don't say anything. It's better, But I mean, ultimately, the rubber meets the road, and he presided over the Activision thing, the games as a service kind of pivot thing. Maybe Japan was kind of going.
You made us look bad, Jim.
Maybe
made us
Sean
look bad.
should have been there. Yeah.
Okay, so
no, please.
This is the part where they had I told people he was going next fiscal period. This is when it started, and they laughed at me. The only reason why I said that is because we have a golf. We playing golf, me and you, and Bobby Kotick. All right, so I'm Phil, you Jim, and Bobby's there. We playing golf, and listen, this is the deal. We want to do this, that, and the third. We all here having a good time, and you say yeah. And the conversation is good back and forth between me and you. And I send you the email, we're going to do this, we can send that over, sign that, and then you come back to me with this chest puffed out because you don't talk to your lawyer. And now, we're gonna block this in its entirety. I don't want to.
What if his people told him, yo, bro, if you
right,
can block this, they ain't gonna beat the FTC, they ain't gonna beat the CMA, they ain't gonna beat the EU. We could block it. Make up whatever you gotta say.
And this is the wild part. Jim has no problem with throwing people under the bus. I've seen it. You need to throw your lawyers under the bus. Whoever told you the deal that was in place, and I know Sony proper said, wait a second, this is the deal we had. We spent all this money. We flew you all over the place. We spent all this room service that you
Brussels.
You know we hurting right now. You did all this room service. You said we was gonna get this block, and you went all over the place. And this is the deal we got.
So are you implying that his failure to block the deal is what landed him in the situation?
Yeah. So they said, you know what, Jim? This is your last. Your key card don't work. This is the last one for you. We done with you. We done with this. And Jim said, you know what? Before I go, I got a problem with this girl.
Not the Connie fallout.
He said, if I'm out, you out. We out, but you out earlier than
me. Kid, not like this.
So you gonna be out, but I'll be out later. But you gonna be out now.
Hey,
oh my God!
All I will tell you is, boy. All I will tell you is, have you been reading my emails from certain sources? I can't.
King is on it. Jeffy confirmed King is on it.
I didn't confirm shit.
You confirmed. I don't slough this. It's confirmed.
Listen, I know people too. and the thing is, when it was said, I didn't know, because the way it was said, they didn't know if she was fired. Or
they try to keep that low.
Right. But they was like, yo, because he was like, I was like, oh, one person left? They was like, no, King, it was the team. I said, the team? I said, what the hell is going on? Right. So then that's like right after that, then I saw your text, your Twitter text, your post. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, they crucified my bands for this.
So stop using that word.
Sorry. Apologies. The Lord's Day. Sorry.
Yeah, please. I don't want them, picketing and getting me.
Facts. We don't want to be canceled.
Yeah, I don't want to be part of that one. I got my other stuff. But then, Jaffe, you shined some light on it, and not saying that, whatever, but you gave some context to it.
Yeah.
I didn't like how a 30 year employee is treated in that nature. Facts. My opinion of it.
Terrible.
It seems petty. The same way that I didn't like what happened with Kojima, and I stood on that. It just seems like certain things, but I understand how warfare goes. And if I'm out the door, bro, if I got a problem with you and I got any sort of control, you going first.
All right, fair enough. Yeah. I got one question to ask you, and then we move on because I know we go along with this. But the thing, he mentioned Japan. I want to go back to that. And we haven't really touched on a name too much, which is Herman. Right, and host, and obviously your source or one of your contacts, wasn't necessarily the big fan, so you were being objective in defense of telling the story, and the story in reference to the cutting of the Japanese studios, and for me, I just wanted to know, one, internally, why there may be some that may not like him and his direction, and then two, we did notice it, Solve, at the start of the PS5 generation, to me, which is iconic because King has always imported systems, and if you've imported, the X in the circle were always the opposite in there, and that was like a Japan sensibility. And I remember with the PS5, it was not the case. And I remember some Japanese PlayStation owners telling me like this was disrespectful. I can't believe that the shift is this aggressive. And then we saw obviously the European influence and stuff that Jim was doing then, where they dominated in the PS4 era. So one, like, why do you think he's not liked internally, again, by this contact?
Are you saying Jim or Herman?
Herman. But I'm going to kind of package them together because...
I don't know if that's valid.
So break it down.
I don't know. I've never met Herman in my life. I've heard a few stories that make him sound like I wouldn't like him. Right. But I have not, and I don't think the IPs that he has lorded over in Guerrilla are very good. I think they're beautiful technical masterpieces and gameplay masterpieces and control and stuff. But I think out of all of Sony's first party big guns, at an IP creation level, they're kind of the weakest. And I just think it's silly how much they're investing in Horizon and all this stuff, but that's just my own personal opinion. But I don't hear that he is,
Well, your contact wasn't a big fan of him.
well, which one are we talking about? The
I
one
mean, you
that,
have many, so I'm just talking about the one.
the one that I can't really get into. I can say that one was more kind of saying that his beef was more with Jim Ryan, and he was suggesting to me maybe that, some people may be caught in between. It's like, I got to do my job, and at the same time, I don't like what this person's telling me to do, but I got to do my job. And so, and even like the Smits woman who's coming in, Angie Smits, I hear nothing but amazing things about her. Yeah. So, there's no real stink on Herman Holst other than just kind of some personal shit that
Thank you for clarifying that. No, I'm glad, because I misinterpreted that.
There's a lot of stink on me too. So I'm not, it's not like, this is not a big picture issue with Herman. I think he might just be trying to figure out, what the fuck is going on? That's what I think.
I feel. And final question in reference to, Connie in the aftermath. Obviously, we don't know her situation. We don't know if there's a non-compete. Again, who knows if she just wants to ride off into the sunset and retire? Like, we don't know what her mindset is. But I guess the question is, like, if she is available, if she has interest in continuing, do you think it behooves Microsoft to pick up that phone and tell us why? Why is this so important?
I've been saying that about Connie and Rhodey and Shannon Studstill for a very long time. And, whether they've tried it and whether they've been rejected, I don't know. Okay. But, if we go back to the Matt Booty thing, like, I don't know Sarah Bond, but she seems like she's presided over some good successes, and she seems like she's, it was a good choice. And again, every time I've seen Matt Booty on stage and I'm like, he seemed like a nice guy. Like, I could really see him being a good human being, and it wouldn't surprise me. But I just look at the output, and I look also at the, it's not like, I could be wrong, but I remember a couple months ago looking at his resume, or Moby Games or whatever. It's not like he was ever, I ran these studios and I shipped these 20 games as the producer, and he wasn't like the finisher like Rob Ferguson, right? So that, along with the fact that you can look at how things have gone, like, unless Phil Spencer and Matt Booty know, and Matt Booty's been coming into Spencer's office for the last 4 years going, dude, you got to let me run. And he's like, I will, but I can't yet because all this political blah, blah
stuff, right?
And so maybe that's what's going on. But short of that, why in the world, with all, it's like Phil Spencer's got all of these toys to play with now, or this great orchestra. It's like, dude, there are conductors out there that can do this brilliantly. Why are you giving it to this guy? Unless there is something like that we don't know. So I think to get a Connie and to get a Rhodey and to get a Shannon, and they would be unstoppable. And I'm not saying they won't be in the future without them. I'm just saying that to get that institutionalized knowledge of what it takes to really run internal and external product development, when you're talking about really creative people, right? That's the trick, right? It's easy to manage people that are soulless, that you can just kind of tell, do it or you'll lose your job. But when you've got these people back in the day like me, or Corey, or Druckmann, or Brian at Insomniac, or these are, they're alphas. And so you've got to find a way to make that work in a way that they still get what they want, but you also benefit from them financially for the company. Right. That's not easy. And you also got to know when to call BS on BS. And a lot of these alphas, including me, would give a lot of BS. And it's like, okay, that's great, but this is the one time I'm putting my foot down. Right. It made you mad, but you're like, yeah, I get it, you idiot.
But it got it done.
You're right. So yes, I think I don't know about non-competes and all that. But I think absolutely, if they haven't reached out, I can't fathom why. Unless, like I said, maybe Matt Booty is going to end up being...
I've heard good things internally, but from the Midway days I can just talk about what I've heard, which is that a lot of them not being able to hit the ground running and go in the way that you're talking about, a lot of it has to do with this structural. From what I hear, ABK really hamstrung them, and from what they were able to do, and now we're seeing this organization.
Yeah, but they were having problems before ABK.
But also, like this is what I look at. I look at like the situation like Redfall, right? And that to me, that's atrocious. That should never happen, right? There's no way a game like that should come out in that state. And to me, it's like, well, what do you mean you didn't know how it was going down? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you mean? Like that kind of thing. So to me, I see a disconnect, and especially to your point. The more you acquire, the more you're going to have to manage. And to me, when I judge Matt, and this is just my personal opinion, I could be wrong, I look at the 2018 draft class, so to speak, right? And I say, okay, let's see how Fable comes out. Let's see how this Hellblade comes out. To me, that's, again, a lot of what he's a part of in managing, and I need to see results there, and then I'll give a final tally. Okay, you know, you really did that.
Well, how long are you going to give him to put out some games?
I mean these games are taking long, bro. Like these games ain't 3 years no more. These games are 5 years, Jav, like at least. And then you talk about a pandemic. Like we got to be real. Even Sony themselves, like their first party lineup, every game has been delayed for the most. None of them has really shipped on time based on the climate. That's all I'm saying. But continue.
I'm saying those are valid reasons to, you know, be staggered in the ring, but they couldn't come up with anything for a while. I mean, you know, there's a point where you kind of go, okay, well, if we've got the money to spend $70 billion on Activision, we can at least go out and acquire exclusives for our you know, that wouldn't have been Matt necessarily, but it's just like there's a point where yes, there are excuses, but it's like, okay, but
get it done.
That's not my problem.
No, I get it. I get it. I completely get where you're coming from.
But no, I mean, maybe he's going to be awesome. Maybe he's going to once, whatever the reason that's been holding him back. The other thing I'll say about Xbox that I said recently, I was on Gaz and Colt show. We were talking about, you know, I think they are historically poor at IP creation.
I agree.
And I don't mean like, I mean, Tim Schafer's a genius. I love Tim Schafer, but Tim Schafer stuff has always been, you know, quirky enough to not really hit the zeitgeist in a big way. But, you know, Cliff Bleszinski is basically begging. I mean, I'm not saying he is.
No, I know, to come back.
Assessment of his Twitter, you know, if they called him and said, dude, come in and work with us on IP creation. I'm not saying give him carte blanche. The team's going to want control and all that. Of course. But they must recognize that as a deficit that Sony just has in spades. The idea of just like character. I mean, if you look at Avowed and Fable, and even Hellblade, I know that, you know, oh, she's a beloved character, mental illness and all that stuff, but there's no real connection to these brands. It's not like people are like, I can't wait for the Wasteland 3 movie. I thought Wasteland 3 was brilliant, but I don't remember any of the lore or characters for the most part. It's just kind of roll your own. I think they need that.
Me and you are on the same page. That's like the Xbox community is mad at me because I literally
they did purchase that.
No, I get that, but
I mean, they purchased.
No, where did they purchase it?
They purchased it. Thank you, Sony, for building up Crash. Thank you.
No, you stupid. This is what I feel.
Crash ain't what he used to be. Crash isn't a modern. You know, he's not.
Make him great again.
I consider the style of game that is Hellblade. But to Jaffe's point, where I completely agree with him, is that's why I came up with the hashtag just one moniker, which is I want a new IP, right. Not nothing that's a sequel or remake, something that you created that's new, that's the new protagonist for the new generation, right? That's not named Gears and it's not named Halo. It's the new face that's created from your internal studios that has the high graphical fidelity, that has that.
What about High Five Rush?
I mean, no, that's great, but we consider that's it's an artsy, cool, unique rhythm game. That's not what I consider like a massive, you know, production.
Yeah, you need like a big summer blockbuster mentality. When we started God of War 1, Shannon and I were like, we want to make a franchise, not a game.
Exactly.
When Cliff started Gears, he said the same thing. I'm almost certain when Amy started Uncharted and Neil took over Uncharted, they weren't thinking. Right. You know, I'm not saying they weren't focused on the one game they were making, but we all had delusions of grandeur that sometimes worked and sometimes didn't, because that's just kind of what, you know, maybe it's the nature of working out of Los Angeles or something, but we wanted to be
Yeah.
You know, we wanted to have that kind of success where you're getting phone calls from movie studios and going to the premieres and all that crap.
Facts.
You know, and that's what it takes to build. And I don't think Xbox needs all of that.
Yeah,
I'm not saying Forza, don't get rid of.
And I agree with you.
Don't
And
give
this
me
is what I want to
Halo
clarify.
either.
I want to
Don't
clarify.
give me Halo either.
Facts. I want to clarify this. And when I say this, again, I think their strategy currently is sound with the diversity in the lineup, in the genre. I don't want a whole bunch of just ones, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing. I just want one of them. That's all it is. But I think they're capable. And I think it will happen. But I'm with you. They need that zeitgeist move.
I don't think it happens.
Oh, you don't think it happens? Okay.
I don't think it happens for this.
All right, break it down.
I don't think it happens because of the climate of making a mistake, right? I don't think we're in the space anymore where, like, where Jaffe and them was at, where that creative mind that we're going to be this big thing, we're going to make this happen. I think the industry has arrived to a point where it's just trying to sustain itself. Where these dudes was building it. You, Jaffe, you and your teams, you guys at Sony built this our medium, right? You like
We
you see
helped.
Yeah, well, no, because looking back at the stuff, you guys were the heartbeat happening at that time, right?
Yeah.
So Gears and all that other stuff. Yes, y'all guys helped build it. So when you get too big and you're at the top, sometimes you play not to lose instead of playing to win. And I don't think Microsoft is at the position where they're playing to win. I think they're playing not to lose. They acquire all these franchises. I think they're going to start going into those decks and get.
They playing to dominate. They opening the cash, bro.
Listen, don't get it twisted. I think they're going to go through all the licenses and continue what's there.
There's nothing there.
I don't think so. I think prototype and stuff like that is
coming
there.
back?
No, I'm not talking about their stuff. I'm talking about the stuff that they purchased.
But even that, what did they purchase?
You say prototype?
Come
Right.
on.
I think that's a great game.
I didn't disagree that it's a great game, but nobody's walking around dressed up as the prototype guy for Halloween.
Right.
Never have been.
But you make it cool.
Based on what? But based on what? Then at that point, all you're building off of is a foundation of a couple 100,000 people that maybe remember prototype. That's not like you don't build off something like that. Why? What's the value of it? You're just going to upset probably half of those 100,000, and you might as well start something brand new that you go out and hire James Cameron and come in and say, "Give us our superhero."
That's the creative in you.
Well, yeah,
that's what I did, and that's what's needed.
Right.
Right. I want to see the creative, and I don't hear new IPs.
Okay.
Like I hear, okay, yeah, Spider-Man 3. Okay, we're working on Wolverine, an extension of that same
from
world.
Sony or from Xbox?
I'm talking about from all of them. I'm talking about all of them.
Xbox is in the perfect position. I don't know if I'm sure you guys did. I thought it was great. If you guys played Hivebusters.
It's amazing.
It was a great game, 4-hour little thing. Obviously they were building off stuff they have to go into a team. I mean, even if it's a new character in Gears and having it done by Coalition or whoever, and just say, look, our big Game Pass game of May is going to be like another Hivebuster scale game, but we're going to do those a couple times a year, and we're going to try to grow some IP that people fall in love with, and then they can become, it's almost like the sort of farm leagues in baseball, right? They can become the next big thing. That's a perfect way to sort of be safe enough so you don't, bet the farm, but at the same time, be trying to figure out where your next big franchise is coming from.
No, I
so,
agree.
I would love to see them and PlayStation do that. But
no, I agree. And
so
I think,
far,
I think Game Pass affords them that, the studios that's been acquired. Because one thing about creatives is what I like that I am hearing is that they're saying, hey, we want to go to you and we want to know what you want to make. Because the last thing people want to do is be on a factory or assembly line. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Just forced to kind of create that same thing over and over and over again. So at least that gives me hope that the direction is at least in the right way. And
I hope they do that. I hope that they do that. I hope we get more hi-fi rushes. I hope we get stuff like that, with the creative, allowing that ability, that flexibility, and that freedom to bring new IPs to the table. Do I see it? I don't think so. But
We'll see
I hope
happens.
for that.
Nah, but I appreciate it, man. I know we beat this thing to death. We got to move on. Saul, we got any super chats, sir?
Yeah, we got a couple.
Okay.
Let's see. We got.
We only got 400 likes, and we got over 1,000 people
Yeah, hit
watching.
that like button. We got David Jaffe.
Come on, man.
Come
David
on now.
Jaffe
We got
just
the
hit
creator
you with
God of War.
crazy
Come on, man. We
knowledge.
got a legend in here. What's wrong with y'all? Hit them
No,
likes.
they don't. They, you know, what have you done for me lately? That's,
Coming out with a new IP. We going to
yeah, my new IP
Oh, yeah.
is my show. Watch it. Don't
What
suck.
exactly? Gabbing games.
I forgot to shout this out too. Shout out to the different outlets out there. Those who acknowledged that what Jaffe said was news, and then the others who decided to obviously because of the source, we're like, oh nah, we're not gonna. We're not.
Are
like,
you
this
reading
didn't
a
happen.
super chat, or are you saying that?
No, this is me saying this.
It's Saul talking.
I forgot to
Well, I
mention that when I
don't break
spoke.
news. I don't want to be a reporter. Like I said,
No,
I was
you-
never
I hear
out
you.
there
I
You're
hear
the
you.
insider. You're the insider now. You get
Yeah,
all the news.
exactly. But I hear you. But when certain outlets just decide like it didn't happen,
Yeah, just because you said it.
Oh,
just 'cause
know,
you said it.
Well, I mean, there was for them. It was one source. If you're a good journalist, I would like to think you don't go off one source. That's what I
feel
thought.
that.
I hear that, but for you to come out and say it, they can say whatever. Whatever the internet is, whatever.
A lot of them don't like me, and that's fine. I
That's
mean,
what Salve is
and,
implying.
and that's what I'm
Yeah.
getting at.
I
That's what I'm
did have
getting
a
at.
guy reach out to me from a site I won't name. He wanted to talk about the Connie thing, and the whole opening was like, "Okay, if you tell me to fuck off, I get it. If you tell me to go pound sand, I get
Sunday
it."
language. You've been doing good though. You all fired.
Yeah, and I'm just saying. So they they know I know, and it's whatever. I don't care. I really don't.
Nah,
You know,
get your
what do
credit,
I
man.
care?
We got to give you your flowers. That's it.
Well, I appreciate it.
No doubt.
We got David Hotright, $10 super chat. Second super chat for Jaffe to make up for that crazy one. What was the hell? I forgot.
Somebody.
I remember that one.
Yeah, okay. Then we have God Emperor Sofa King, $2 super chat. Bungie is for the streets. She about to walk.
Yo.
We'll see. Then we have Mr. Too Opinionated, $2 super chat. Sounds like she should have been the new boss. Referring to Connie. Yeah.
And they was making sure that was not happening.
Then we have Jenna Hayes, $5 super chat. Starfield bugs weren't called out by Xbox leadership.
Okay.
That whole narrative is dumb, though.
They going hard.
Starfield, I loved. Spider-Man, I loved. I said this on Gaz's show. When a game comes out that's loaded with bugs, like Cyberpunk, it gets paid attention to, and it gets reported, and it dings the reviews, and it hits the stock of CD Projekt Red. And in the case of Cyberpunk, they literally pulled it off the store when it comes to PlayStation. Starfield is not a buggy mess, and Spider-Man is not a buggy mess. Are there bugs? Sure. But that whole narrative that PlayStation got a pass and Xbox got a pass, it's like, come on.
They go hard. You got to go hard. I'm telling you, they go hard right now.
But you can go hard, but you can't go hard if you're wrong. Going hard means you're aggressive and you're right. They're just making crap up.
Let me ask you this. The talk is now that if the review was already made and then users are now playing a game that is significantly less quality, should the review be lowered is the question that people talk about.
If it turns out that after a day, if the game they reviewed is not the game that went on sale,
right,
then yeah, I would think it's a good responsibility. And I do think sites do this to say update, since we wrote our review, which was based on this code, the updated code from day one patch has changed X, Y, Z. And in that we want to adjust our score, good or bad.
Sure. Yeah, that's a lot of the conversation right now. So yeah, that's what it is. But anyway, continue, Sean.
Then we have Lord Roughness.
Salute.
Super chat. In 2023, it would hurt my heart to spend £70 on a game on Friday and finish said game on Sunday. Starfield playtime to date, 255 hours, 10 days, and 15 hours total.
It's up to you. I'm having fun with Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I mean,
Spider-Man's great.
it's an inconvenience on certain things, but again, I told you, I love good story, and this story is great. How they made the suit, how they're telling the story from the villain's perspective, how they love and treated Craven. I always told people he was probably one of my best Spider-Man villains that was never treated right. And I tell people, if you ever want a good story, go to get Spider-Man's Craven's Last Hunt. I think Mark Bagley did the artwork. It was probably
Jada Matis,
it was the best Craven storyline to date, and they use some of that here in this, and it's an incredible story.
Yeah.
I can't stress it enough that I don't care what side of the fence you're on. These
Don't be on
Spider-Man
a side of a
stories are great.
fence. Be a gamer.
Thank you.
It's-
Yeah.
Jesus
Game.
Christ.
Just
Sorry,
game.
Sunday, whatever. But what I would
Nah,
tell
you good, you good.
about Spider-Man in that is that, yeah, what I loved about it is it's paced like a Netflix series and not a movie. So I was surprised that I had to get halfway in to that game before a couple of these big things that most games would have put out in the first 10 minutes. I mean, they really, and it's still, the story's compelling. It's not like it's boring, but they really told it in a structure that I think works for a longer game versus like just trying to be a 3-act structure movie. I think it should be talked about when people talk about writing in games this year. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Continue, sir.
Let me see. Spartan661, $5 super chat. Can we see an episode of Bear Grylls with Jim Ryan in an era that he didn't fly to talk to regulators? I'd like to see where he was scared to go to.
Let's see. Continue.
Addict's old house.
Then we have Yeah Baby Fava, $10 super chat. Just watch David on Gaz's show. Kudos to him for being willing to branch out from gaming for a moment and have a conversation about current events affecting many. Peace to the Lords.
Salute to Gaz. On that as well.
Then we have Vic, the mother effing click. $2
Yo, that's his name? That's his name. Shout out to homie.
You didn't hear me say it before?
Nah, I didn't catch that. That's crazy. Continue.
Hit the mother effing like button. You POSs.
Vic from the click. All right. I see you.
That's it. We're caught up.
All right, no doubt. We're going to move on. This one will be quick. Xbox Partner Showcase is my topic. Just quick rundown that went down. You know what I'm saying? So, obviously, Yakuza Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, had like kind of like an Animal Crossing mode showed. I forgot it's like Dondoko Island. We had that. We had, shout out to Future Lab. They had Ikara Will Not Die, that reveal. Still Wakes the Deep, kind of the all-rig game, haunted kind of deal. We had developer Teon's RoboCop, the Rogue City. You know what I'm saying? I buy that for $1. Old school vibes. You know what I'm saying? They had that joint. Dungeons of Hinterberg, which was they actually played at PAX West. That's the kind of cell shaded. Actually, Solve, you were with me. Yes, we covered that game.
Did you like it?
I felt the control was a little weird to me because it didn't have a jump button, and I didn't realize.
It was very
puzzle heavy. I thought it was going to be more. I was completely came in with the wrong mindset on what the game was, and the game is like extremely puzzle heavy.
Oh, you talking about Nostradamus?
King does not like the art direction of the noses.
I did not say that.
Your King was going hard on the stream about the noses on the game, but
I feel they knows a lot.
Jaffe, I will say this: the puzzles had me. The developer had to keep helping me. He's like, "Look, all right, you might want to do this over here because you." The puzzles was a little confusing, but once I got the rhythm of it and then the combat, it's a weird direction. I got to see how it lands. I was in the middle with it, but a lot of potential. Spirit of the North, Part 2. So that looks like that's coming sequel, and got the little bird companion with the fox. Metal Gear Solid, Green Triangle, the Snake Eater.
Green Triangle.
That's what they call it here, the Green Triangle. You know what I'm saying? We got that there, and that Manor Lords was shown. Little city building, in-depth tactical battles. The finals, kind of like a games as a service game show kind of vibe. You know, multiplayer action going on. Look kind of cool.
Heavy destruction from a lot of the guys who did
Battlefield.
But I hear it's just okay.
Yeah,
and you can play. It's available right now to play open beta this weekend, so you can play it.
And I was getting when it was funny when you said Battlefield. When I was watching people telling me that, I was thinking, remember when they came up with Levolution and the destruction of the building? I was getting that energy from it for whatever reason because they were destroying a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Ark Survival Ascended looked kind of good, you know what I'm saying, as far as the new engine. And, of course, they ended it off with Alan Wake 2, which released, obviously, the same week. So, thoughts, Jaffe, let's start with you. Xbox Partner Showcase.
Yeah, the biggest thought that I walked away from was just how fundamentally Game Pass has changed my responses to announcements.
Yes.
I was watching it, and I was like, okay, if it had Game Pass day one at the beginning, I was like, oh, I'll try that. But the ones that didn't, I was like, there was nothing I saw. Like, I played the RoboCop demo. I'm like, it's Game Pass. I'll play when it's on Game Pass. If it's not, I'll probably never play it. So there were a couple of day one Game Pass games. I think they had the Towers or the Nostradamus game that you were calling is what's it, Hinderburg?
Dungeons of Hinterberg.
That's a day one, but now that I probably won't play it now that you've said what you've said. I mean, I'll wait. I'll see the
Give it a
reviews.
shot. Give it a shot.
And there's too much to play now.
Too much to play,
I mean, it's not like back in the day where it's like, I'll play that on my off time. There is no off time.
Yeah.
I can't play Alan Wake right now. That's how bad it is in a great way. But so that was a day one, and then I was surprised that the whatever his name is will not die. That seemed like you're going to charge for that.
Yeah.
So that's that. I'll wait and see. He's a good developer though, really good developer. What was the other day one Game Pass?
Still Wakes the Deep, the horror one on the oil rig.
I'm interested in that because I love that genre.
Yes,
horror. You love horror.
Yeah, there was nothing about that trailer that made me go, "Oh my god, that's awesome!" But it's Game Pass and it's a genre I love, so that has me excited.
Nice.
Hey, David, have you ever thought about making a horror game?
Oh yeah, I almost made one. Yeah, I got it all down there. Yeah, awesome. But I just, if I ever go back into games, it will be a horror game. But I don't plan on it. But I love horror, so I'm interested in that. But that game, the Still Deep, what's called Still Wakes the Deep.
Still Wakes the Deep, yeah.
And then the other stuff, Alan Wake, I was kind of hoping that they were going to drop the Game Pass. Because I'm crazy. Like, the game comes out tomorrow, and why are you showing this trailer
That's
now?
What Attic said. That's literally what Attic said.
But that said, though, that was great. I bought it. Not on Xbox, but I bought it. But no, I it was very forgettable to me. I mean, and I don't think Xbox was surprised that most people would say that. It didn't feel like it was promoted to be a big deal. I don't know if it was just like, hey, look, contractually we got to get these out before the end of the year. We said we'd do these trailers, but nothing really stuck. That doesn't mean there isn't like a game of the year in there, but just as a trailer introducing, like even Ark. I was never interested in Ark, and I was like, okay, if that was on Game Pass, I'd totally play that because that was a good trailer. Yeah. And they showed some really cool stuff, but I'm not going to drop $30 on it. So that's what I thought.
I hear where you're coming from. Soft thoughts on the Xbox Partner Showcase.
Yeah, again, it was one of those things where I kind of feel, to me, it seems like they have so much that they have to say, that it makes sense to do something like this. Because if these games get put into a larger showcase with more prominent games, there's going to be no conversation around them whatsoever. So at the very least, separate them out. And have people kind of be able to remember them when they do drop a little bit. Oh, I saw that in this partner showcase. Like I saw a couple of minutes of gameplay of it. Oh, this particular one said it was going to Game Pass. A lot of these also start out as not Game Pass, and maybe by the time they come around to launch, they are Game Pass games, and maybe you kind of reintroduce it that way. So at first I was like, I don't know about this. Why are they doing this? And then I realized, I'm like, you know what? They have so much stuff now that they have to figure out time frames for and to find oxygen for, that I'm like, okay, just talk about it, whatever. And what I loved about the format was that no talking heads, right? It was just trailer after trailer. But at the end of each one, it says, hey, go to Xbox Wire if you want to hear more. Here's the little QR code if you
the first time they did that.
Yeah, it is the first time they did that. And I think that was very cool, because then at the very least, if you do want to hear more, if you want to hear the devs talking about it, just a more in-depth explanation about what the game is or whatever, you have that option, but it's not forced on you during the show proper. So I thought that was very cool. And but we'll see if they continue with this format, how many more games they have to announce that they think aren't going to get the shine, when placed up next to bigger games. Yeah. What I liked from it specifically, I did like to see, let me roll back through it. I was pissed with Alan Wake because I was like, they're showing way too much, and I'm about to get this game. Like Jaffe, I was like, okay, maybe it's a Game Pass
last minute drop,
which would have pissed me off because I think I had already ordered it. So. But I was just mad they were showing that much of it, 2 days out from release. I didn't get to watch you guys streaming it live, but I knew once the Like a Dragon Infinite, well, I knew you weren't going to be happy with
All right,
it, 'cause I was like,
let me clarify. Because y'all know I'm the biggest Like a Dragon fan.
They
but I
showed
think,
me in the game. I didn't care.
I like Ichiban
Yeah,
is
they
my
did.
lovable idiot. They had a dude that looked like King. But again, my only thing
And
we
had
saw-
King on his chest.
And
It
had
was
King
dope.
on his chest. They would represent King. My only thing was that the mode is probably going to do well. It's just that I know what the game is. I was just confused that maybe somebody might get confused thinking that that's how the whole game is, as opposed to this is a separate mode. But maybe it's just me. I love the game
I
too much.
assumed that was the whole game. I thought I did.
Thank you. See,
Wow.
Jaffe been like, hey, I don't like Animal Crossing.
Why would I not? I didn't dislike the trailer, but I'm like, oh, they're doing Yakuza, but they're doing Animal Crossing.
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 Right. And to me, I'm like, everything the game really is so cool. And I just wish they showed a little bit of the game in conjunction with
proper.
that.
It's
That was
like
the only thing.
and specify this is a mode.
Yeah,
of the
this
game.
is side.
This is something you could do if you want to.
Yeah.
Right, because
I had
otherwise I
no
had King
idea.
laughing at me when Ichiban's on dragons and King was clowning me. He's like, this is your chick, this is your kid.
Yeah. They did you dirty.
So after that, shout out to Diz, man. When I saw
rest in peace,
Survival
rest in
Ascended
peace.
arc,
That's
I
his
know
game.
because Diz played this game when it was horrible, running
at 5 frames per second, looking terrible, and
He
this is the
loved
greatest thing, Cog.
I know, and he would have just loved to see this
rest in
blow up,
peace.
right? That would have been crazy.
Facts.
Like, for a minute, because I was like, I thought it was 2, so I was like, I was like, they took Ben out of here, no more Vin Diesel. I said that cost too much. He's out of here.
Budget, had to cut him out the budget.
Yeah, and then Rogue City, I actually played the demo during Steam Next Fest, and I was like, oh, that's another one that has some serious ray tracing chops. So I'm excited because that's coming out this coming week, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm excited to play that. That was very cool.
Yeah, that looked cool.
Yeah, still wakes the deep look
Terrible
awesome.
release date coming out the week of early release Call of Duty and
Yikes!
you know.
Yeah, that
Once
first
again-
party, the Xbox first party studio game. That's what's up.
That's right.
Once again, a game that's gonna get buried.
It's a shame, man. That's classic Robo, man.
Yeah.
So this is my take on Metal Gear. I don't know if you guys agree.
I thought it looked great.
I looked at it and I thought it like immediately. I was like, oh wow, it looked amazing, right?
Yeah.
But then I was like, what is it? There's something about it I could not place my finger on. I'm like,
30
what
frames per
is it?
second?
No, not even that. I said, let me see it. Let me see old MGS3 to see what it is that's bothering me. And what it feels like is obviously you make the game in Unreal Engine 5, the water, the lighting, all that stuff looks amazing. But it really does look like they took that game. Like when you look at RE4 Remake, that is a reimagining of that game from the ground up.
Right.
This ain't a remake though.
Right. This feels like it is taking the brand new top of the line technology, throwing it on top of that game and not
Doing
sort of
anything. Yeah.
reinterpreting the vision. And it just feels like it's that game at the highest resolution with the best tech on top of it. And it looks great, but it doesn't feel like they said, hey, let's reimagine the identity of this game, like in a way
It's
that
a remaster.
Like RE4. So it kind of feels like a little bit like the greatest remaster ever.
Yeah.
But again, it's early. It's just in-engine stuff. It's not the full final product. But that's what I noticed. Like this is a very true to the original product sort of remake as they're labeling it. And it feels a little bit weird. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous, high res. Everything looks great. It just really does feel like it is that game with the most amazing coat of paint ever. And it disappointed me a little bit. But again, I'm still excited to play it. I really do hope the biggest thing for me is the control stuff.
Yeah.
Modernize those controls, go look at MGS5, even go beyond that and sort of modernize those controls. I hope they do that. But again, I don't know because it's Konami proper handling it, I believe. And this MGS collection that came out recently is not great. Like they didn't really do a whole lot. It feels like a cash grab. Like when you look at what's being done with games like the making of Karateka and stuff like that, like and the care that's taken into going into the history of these games, you would wish that Konami would want to do something with that with their
Konami is not
IP.
about that. They got rid of the
Hashtag
soul
Konami
of
cares.
the
They don't
people.
care.
They don't care about that.
They don't care, but they cared enough to to get an outside team to do the Castlevania Advance ones. And those don't historically go into a whole lot or anything like that, but they are great sort of ports of those games in a way that shows reverence to it. Whereas this is like, we'll see. So it looks pretty. We'll see.
Fair enough. King, Xbox Partner Showcase, your feelings, sir. Now you got time to marinate more.
A hard 6. like I said, it's a hard 6. Like a hard 6. Pause. Like, it is what it is.
So I've lost it on the pause.
You need to clarify 6 what? Like,
Yeah. For sure.
We're going to walk away from that one. So, all right, cool.
It's still a hard 6. It ain't going to change. Pause. Like, the fact of the matter is, like David Jackson said, if it don't say Game Pass on everything, I'm looking at you, quine-eyed, a little bit different. Like a lot of games that y'all was putting out there, I was like, man, that would be nice if it wasn't Game Pass. Like, we just saw Sonic get slaughtered in the streets because he didn't fall in line. Like, a lot of you games out there don't know the formula. And I don't even think Microsoft is knocking on doors anymore with contracts like that to get in here now. Right? Maybe they closed the velvet rope. Right? Maybe we got enough for the year. Thank you. and we just gotta, fulfill these obligations with putting you on our show. It was the Friends and Them show.
The Friends and Them.
Yeah, and the Friends
Xbox and Friends.
Right? But again, if it was in Game Pass, if it was a Game Pass show, it would have hit different. It would have got a higher number because you can anticipate these games and you play them at your leisure. You know you got at least 3 months to play these games. They go inside Game Pass, right? You know, good, I got 3 months. I'll catch it. And sometimes you look up and you see what's leaving. And you're like, oh, I got to play this game. And it put the fear of God in you. So, I don't know. I would have loved Alan Wake to be like, and right now you can go to your Game Pass and Alan Wake.
Oh, that have broke the internet. Yeah, that have broke the internet.
Right. Like David said, maybe the internals on this game selling is different. I was hyped for RoboCop. Out of everything on that show, I know this is cheesy.
What?
Out of everything on the show, I only cared about RoboCop.
RoboCop look good though, because that's our era. That bro.
And if you like the movie, what the demo at least does well, and I guess if Sovereign are the ones who played it, but it captures.
It really does.
80s and the movie style.
The movie style.
Good.
The actress that plays Murphy's
just like
it's her. It's her. Like it's her.
And
When I saw
Peter Weller's doing RoboCop, right?
Oh, let's go. I saw Ed 209. I lost it. You have 30 seconds to comply. Woo!
I hope they have that
you
great
can go
scene.
in the bathroom and take the guy's hair and go, dick.
Pause.
I hope they got that scene. Itches leave. Like you understand what I'm saying? Like,
I remember that.
Bro,
That's
for
the
a dollar.
triangle button. That's you just press it and it does it.
Bro, that movie scarred me as a kid.
Listen, unless I'm not feeling this conversation that I'm hearing around RoboCop's DSLs.
Oh no!
Yo, it is a real conversation that happened. I'm like, what is going on here?
We gotta stop. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but definitely the show was a good show. It was decent. I like the format. I think they're using these shows, these and we say throwaway shows, but they're not. No developers are throwaway.
Right.
To test different things. So the QR code at the side. Do we need to have an extension to shows if this QR thing takes off? Right. Do we need to have the in-depth? After this, you can watch the in-depth. Or do we just send them to it and it's available already? How can we use that? And if this is successful, then maybe this is the format going forward. And on the larger shows, they do have like a Sarah Bond or somebody come out in the beginning to present the show and let it roll. This one was no presentation. They just rolled through, and it was no somebody coming out in conclusion and talking more. None of that stuff.
I think at some point you're going to have to ask what is the value anyway, right? Because there's so much to play, and word of mouth is so, because of the internet now and stuff, in streaming the games and stuff, that a game can come out you've never heard of, and a week later it's the biggest freaking thing, right? So this idea of needing to build awareness, sure, maybe if it's a really big game, but like this game Spirited in the Fox or whatever, the first one came out, the sequel, I'll never touch that game, but and I don't need to know it's in development, but if I open up the internet one day and it's like, oh my God, everybody's talking about this great game, I'll just go try it. So there is a point where it's almost like, what's the point of it really? You know?
Yep, I know where you're going. Yep.
So,
I'm sorry, King, did you finish? I was going to jump
No,
in.
I concluded.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, literally the same thing. Look, I want to say first for them, I don't want to like completely destroy it because I like the fact that they are doing more shows and that they need more beats throughout the year as opposed to wait till E3 and we're going to just overwhelm you with all these trailers and stuff like that. So I like a steady course like during the year, even if it's bite size in that sense. But I do agree with Jaffe in the sense that they have conditioned us to with prior shows to say, okay, there's a Game Pass announcement. Okay, there's what's the value for the Xbox only guy that's watching this show, right? You would assume that you're going to get at least a couple of Game Pass exclusive announcements, or maybe you have the marketing rights. And I think that was the confusion for me. I was like, okay, well, who is this for? Like, really, because most of the stuff that we saw already, like we saw it's coming out, or it's just Alan Wake 2. You don't have any association with it. PlayStation was on the PlayStation stage before. We know it's coming out in 2 days, so like maybe they was gonna do some type of Game Pass. I got fooled into it. Me and Attic was hyping ourselves up. We would think there's like one or two, secret ones that they'll kind of drop last minute, and it didn't happen. And maybe that's my own fault for setting, ridiculous expectation. But yeah, I thought, look, it was solid. It wasn't nothing crazy to go about. I do think that I like the format without the talking heads, but I do think that if you're gonna do these, you got to set expectation for what the Xbox guy, quote unquote, is going to get. So while I look at this is something that you want to do to fortify relationships with your partners. You want to get, the beat out there. Maybe you improve your relationship with Remedy, by showing their game. You're like kissing babies. That's how I look at this. This is not for me per se, but this is like a marketing and international thing. And I just hope that they build on it with more announcements and stuff like that, what I'm accustomed to, but that's where I'm at with it. I mean, it wasn't.
I did want to add real quick though. You were talking about, you and I both having that Game Pass effect on it,
yes,
where we had expectations. The other thing, and it doesn't get talked about a lot, maybe because it's at the upper tier of PlayStation Plus, but the one thing I love that they do that I'd love to see other companies incorporating, and I'd love to see if they can afford it for the price to come down on PS Plus with that thing, is their trials. Because between trials, which are not demos, it's just like you get the first anywhere from 1 to 5 hours of the game, and between being on Game Pass, both of those things for me are really reconditioning the way I make choices now. And I love that. It's like, look, if your game's good, let me play it for an hour. I'll buy it if I like it, or put it on Game Pass or whatever. So I love the shift.
Yes.
That I'm seeing happening for sure. It's really cool.
No, I hear what you're saying. And they used to do that. I believe with Xbox Game Preview was one of those.
I think it sounds familiar.
Yeah, and it's like, I agree with you, though. I don't see it anymore. It was something they really started up. They were, yo, King, chill. Yo, what's going on with King right now? I can't even do the podcast with my man looking like this. What's going on? King, what you doing?
Keep talking. I like what you're talking about.
Yo, I can't with you, bro. You doing the most. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much what I got, and I agree. Hopefully they do more of it and they improve on the format. So I'm getting some chance to get the final topic. Let me get rolling.
Yep. Okay.
We
got Senjutsu Sage, $5 super chat. Xbox has many new IP coming: Indiana Jones, IO Interactive title, Contraband, Blizzard's new survival IP, Clockwork Revolution, South of Midnight, etc. Yes, there's a lot coming.
Yeah.
Then we have Project Aries, $10 super chat. Side question: when choosing a romantic partner, do you choose fidelity or performance? Salute to the Lord's realm and of course Mr. Jaffe.
No doubt. Salute.
Performance.
Yeah, performance. The man who got them horns. Member for 35 months, Lord Bronze. Much love to the crew.
Oh, Jaffe.
Just watch my Jets win the most ugly game till the last 30 seconds of OT. What is Jaffe wearing down?
I just pinned both of them.
I was looking for my actual mask, but I couldn't find it, so I guess I got to go with that.
I can't with them too. I knew these two were gonna be messy. Continue.
Happy Halloween. That's it. We are caught.
We are caught. All right, so I'm gonna set up King's topic because clearly he wants to dress for the occasion.
God damn this wig.
So yeah, this is King's topic. PlayStation 5 Slim requires an internet connection for its detachable disc drive. Shout out to good friend to the realm, Tom Henderson. He reported it's been revealed that the new PS5 Slim will require internet connection in order to connect. First posted by Call of Duty Twitter Charlie Intel, the information was revealed on the back of the new PS5 box. Internet connection required. It reads, and then they had the additional, it says 150 gigabyte minimum, also 90 gigabyte download required to play. Bundle available November 10th, as pointed out by, Digital Foundry's John Letterman, also good friend to the realm. Shout out to John Letterman, those guys. The requirement has raised concerns about the longevity of the console, and internet connection requirement means that servers will always be needed, which could be disabled at any point in the future. So, King, this is your topic. What do you feel about this situation, sir?
In the month of Shocktober, are you shocked? And what's going on?
Why is it shocking, sir? Break it
Now
down.
we need an internet connection for a physical device. That's an add-on to a digital device. You thought you was gonna get away scot-free.
So you felt the need to inform the realm of this.
You thought you was gonna escape it. Burning
Bird
people.
says you got that mask at Walgreens.
No, I got it at Walmart.
Yeah.
Continue, King.
But oh my God, people, I've told you, it is time. It is over. We have seen the last of the bumbling and fumbling that they've been doing lately. And this is the best part about it, because y'all was super hyped for this overpriced add-on birth machine. And y'all was just sitting there, hey, you know what? Man, it doesn't matter if I add it, you know what I'm saying? And I add the stand. I don't care if it costs so much. You know, listen, I don't care. I'm a Sony fan. I'm going to do what I got to do. Right? So, like, you didn't pay your internet up, but I got this thing and I want to add it to it. You can't. You can't.
I can't with you.
Y'all
Is
sit here.
that, is that how all white people sound?
Oh, no, they wasn't even white.
I can't.
That was my Scandinavian. What happened here?
Oh,
No, check it out. So I'm at the point right now. Nothing is shocking me, but internet connection for a physical device to an all digital machine.
Internet connection. Yeah.
This is poetic. That you physical guys thought y'all was gonna get away. Y'all thought y'all was gonna get away. I'm so happy at the fact that right now, if they cut off the servers to your authenticity, you won't be able to identify with it, so they can brick it. They can brick your add-on. This is. I know I've never seen this, right? I've never seen this happening to one company. This much bungling, and everybody's sitting there talking about we're fine, we're okay.
So to you, this is the meme. This is the dog and everything all fine. This is the meme.
I found a better one. I found a dude sitting there with a plate of food or actually on fire. Yo, all right.
It might be because they just know they're going to make so much money off the PlayStation Portal that.
Yo, yeah.
I mean, I'm kidding, of course.
No, and it's sold out all over, and they're going to continue to fake sell out. I know what you're talking. I know.
In Japan, yeah, but that's a dead device walking. Come on.
You and I both know this, but you can't tell these people that.
With the voice.
I mean, I'm not saying, people can kind of generate a scenario as no, you don't understand. When my girlfriend wants to watch Housewives of X, I can still be playing Uncharted. Okay, fine. There are scenarios where it's valuable.
Right, but when you go to the bathroom, though.
Yeah, enough to launch a whole product line. I mean, come on.
It sounds like a passion project, yes?
Yeah, I mean, they did say it is eventually going to stream, and so if they are getting ahead of that, then I'm like, okay, that does make sense, right? But the way they're selling it today, why you would buy it, I just can't fathom why anyone's going to rush out and buy that thing.
But you need the earbuds, though, Jaffe.
Yo, y'all messy. You got two right now.
Amazon And this is what I use to game. I don't need
Yeah,
any.
yeah, but they don't. No, those are special earbuds that only work with certain devices. But okay, so
That's
we're
'cause
back.
whenever you get a trophy, Jim Ryan will whisper in your ear or something. He like recorded a bunch of things before he left.
Thanks for your
Daphna, I love your twisting berries.
Shout out to Games of Service.
That's it.
All right,
You're
so
fired, honey.
so now you need the internet for this add-on baby device. What do y'all think about it? Because when I saw it, I said this can't be real. But this falls in line with the doubling of the PlayStation's Spider-Man 2 count. Like, do we need a recount here? Because apparently they didn't count the numbers properly as
You're
well.
applying what games industry about Biz and those guys are talking about as far as the miscount. of
Yeah,
these
the double
bundles and-
dipping, the double counting. Like one for
Spider-Man.
me, two for you.
He was gonna try to find some way to
I knew he was
include
gonna
it.
stick this in.
No, we gonna talk about those numbers because those numbers ain't real. The fact that the console went on sale in September and those games, and they counting the bundles. So it's 2 million consoles that went on sale. So technically, Mario outsold it with 65,000 in 24 hours because they only sold 500,000 in 24 hours. Physical sales, that's really the number. But they was on sale since September with the console. So they counting that bundle. That's not real numbers, people. But I want to know about the pregnant digital drive. How did y'all feel?
I don't even know where to begin with this. Jaffe, your thoughts on the internet connection required for the detachable drive PS5 Slim?
I don't care. I don't. I think, I'm not one of these people that feels an internet connection is a bad thing. I think, welcome to life, I mean, which is not to say there are people who don't have a problem with it. And I respect that. But for me personally, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's just can I play my games? I mean, that's terrible. I'm not educated enough to have much of an opinion on it. It's just like whatever, some other thing I'll never buy.
Yeah, no, Faith. Solve your thoughts on the detachable drive internet connection required.
I mean, everything requires authentication, right? At some point in time, it's just the nature. If you're buying an electronic product in 2023 thinking it will not connect to the internet in some way, shape, or form, I don't know where you're living because it's just it's the fact of it. Like, so it has to connect.
Okay.
Like, what if it needs a firmware update at some point? You just ask. You're done.
That's it. You can't do that.
You can't do nothing with it. Like
That's what Lindemann said. He said maybe for some type of firmware.
Also, I forget how the authentication works for movies and stuff like that. But again, Jaffe's right. This is dead man walking, right? Like we already know the big box stores are shutting down a lot. A lot of those sales next year, stuff like that.
Well, I said Portal's dead man walking. I don't know about.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, Blu-rays are probably not long for this world.
No.
Yeah, they almost done.
But Sony, you got to appease the movie studio still because they're going to still keep making those things for a while. They are a movie studio as well. So they have a movie studio as well. So they have to. So I think every time you put a disc in, it authenticates or something to that nature. So it's stuff that has to be in there. So because on its own, it's not going to do it, right?
You said DRM?
That's
They all have DRM. They all have this.
I mean,
now another thing you got to remember: this is an add-on. It needs the PlayStation to function. So once you connect it to the PlayStation, it's gonna have an internet connection. There's nothing that you connect to the PlayStation that won't, by proxy, now use that internet connection for something. So it's like if it was a separate thing, if they did like an Xbox 360 HD DVD drive thing, maybe you could get away with it as being this own separate thing.
I can't right now. Continue.
But nah, I mean,
It's Shocktober, baby.
Bringing the conversation back down to earth. Yeah, this is not a big deal. This is not
a big deal. Okay,
not a big deal whatsoever. I don't know
What
how
is
many
this,
they're gonna
first
sell.
world problems?
Yes,
Yeah.
very much first world problems, and I don't know how many they're gonna sell. But yeah, I mean, just be prepared for it to say, oh yeah, it's a Blu-ray drive. Go ahead, you can use it now. That's it.
Yeah, look, I will admit it is a little weird to me as an add-on. You know what I'm saying? Like why it's required. Obviously, DRM could be a possibility. My question is it a one-time setup or is this like required.
Well, technically for the drive to work, it is a one-time setup.
Right.
But every time every disc you buy now comes with some online functionality, right? Oh, go online and see these behind the scenes vignettes or whatever. Or it'll link you to something else they want you to buy. So I think the thing connects to the internet no matter what. But the actual authentication, could you technically disconnect yourself from the internet after you do the authentication and play a movie? I think you can.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm thinking, let's be honest, from a security standpoint, they've been known to be, obviously we've been through.
Yeah,
we've been through the PSP.
We really haven't had a situation over the past like 2 generations really where we've had like true like the whole
kit and caboodle
OS is broken.
Yeah,
and people are bootlegging games left and right. That hasn't really happened.
Right.
By creating something like this, you're opening up the door for that to be able to happen.
That's what I'm saying. We in defense of them. I gotta be corporate cog for a minute. Like they gotta make sure nobody ain't coming through the back door doing things. You don't want that dude that got that CD binder talk about he got all the PS5 lineup for you. You don't want that guy to come through. Oh, Jaffy's out of pocket.
I love that, Jeffy.
You don't want that dude looking like Jaffy talking about he got the whole PlayStation lineup for you for $50. We know dudes like these two.
Do you want your information back?
We definitely don't need
the
that.
whole system.
Because we from that era where that used to go down and devalue the whole console.
Yes, tell the truth.
What are you talking about? Yes, I was around when those things
allegedly
were happening, and it was appalling back then. So
appalling.
Come out. They got us.
Listen, I don't know about the statute of limitation.
I don't know you, Jason.
You like no snitching. But look, Jaffy killing me right now. But at the end of the day, that's my thought. I think this is more of a protection. Sony trying to, be a little safe. I think we have the Joker.
When Microsoft was trying to be a little safe and have DRM in their box, it was like, yo, the internet is watching us. We can't know. Microsoft is gonna sell our information. Then Sony said, yo, calm down, my son. Here, I give you this. What is this? This is to add on to your digital. What I'll do with it? You'll authenticate online.
I guess we'll leave it. We'll leave it in the hands of the Joker. I mean, what does the Joker feel, Daffy? It looks like the Joker's with us. He has nothing to say.
We all float down here.
Tell you what, that's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun to put on a trick or treat and hello, trick or treat. Who's there? Not Jim Ryan because he got fired.
Yo, you two together are hilarious.
Knock. Who's there? Not PlayStation because Rome is burning.
I'm trying to save you, Jeffrey. I'm trying to save you right now. You out of pocket. Anyway, that's all I got on this topic because these two together are out of pocket.
Yes. So welcome to the month of Shocktober.
Anyway.
Where Rome is burning.
There you have it. King with his news. So if I want to get the poll, we got the super chats. Let's get him out of here.
Let me see. He's got a couple of super chats, not too much.
Oh my God.
See. We had Sir Duck, member for 39 months, Lord Bronze. So does that mean the GameStop can't sell used disc drives for the Slim mod? Nope. We'll just re-authenticate. That's all. If there are any in GameStop to sell. Then we have Dr. Strangelove, $5 super chat. King asking for more domination and submission with those masks. Remember, King, the safe word is Phil.
Yo!
You!
Hey! Back to you, Soft.
I think we'll end on that note.
That was the final one.
Moving along, yes.
Moving along. All right, and let's do the poll because I don't want to forget it. I've been forgetting polls lately. New ILP poll with the. Sorry. Pause on me. Yes, that was wild. Pause. Damn, so why you have to do me like that? Anyway.
Hey, yo.
Pause. Moving on. With the recent reports regarding internal shuffling within PlayStation, which direction do you think Sony should ultimately take for their long-term success? The choices are A, Sony should drop the aggressive games as a service push and stick to the experiences they do best. B, Sony needs to evolve and have games as a service in their portfolio to survive. Or C, I don't care. Sony and Bungie still owes me my damn Last of Us factions. Shout out to those who rock the poll. It'll go up later on today. And of course, salute to the legend, David Jaffe in the building, giving us the info, giving us the sources, giving us perspective, giving us the comedy, the suit, all of that. And Sweet Tooth's in the building, I think, or Joker's in the building. I don't know who's in the building, but he's still with us, brother. Thank you for coming back on the platform. And
Thank you for having me. Always good to be here. I appreciate it, fellas. Find me at David Scott Jaffe Games. No, David Jaffe Games, and at David Scott Jaffe on Twitter. And I do a show. And I'm not taking this thing off all day long.
You'll put it in the chat, man. Again, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate building with you.
Nice to be here.
Nice. Always a pleasure, man. And real talk, as men, I wanted to say this to you. You know, I really appreciate how we.
Man, I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
We're all men and we're all together wearing our boxer shorts. Wait, can I say that? Can that come out my mouth out loud? I swear to God.
I appreciate you, bro, because
we're just normal men.
Exactly.
Men.
That's what normal real men do. We talk behind the scenes and we squash anything.
Do you think Jesus will save me? Why
he sound like this wild religious preacher?
I was on the Iron Lord's podcast. Jesus, can I get in? No. Who is it? It's me. Can I come in? No, you ain't getting in here. Jaffe, you got your mind? All right.
Salute, brother. You're a legend, man. We love working with you, and it's always good to have you back in the realm, my man.
Yes, sir.
David Jaffe. Again, everybody send some love to Addict, man. He's not feeling well. The boy got that. Yeah, he got that Robitussin with the honey right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's working on that cough, and he was not feeling well, so he tried his best. And send some love to our brother. And then, of course, Lord Saw, where can the people find you? What you got going on?
Big shout out to Jaffe for coming through.
Yeah,
love your takes. Love your takes on the industry. So I'm glad to have you. Just letting you guys know that right before the show went live, there was a VGC reported that there's a Nintendo patent that was recently repatented that indicated they might be going the way of the dual screen once again for the next device. So just remember that I said that like 2 years ago.
Oh my God!
Yeah. When everybody starts saying that, you heard it here first.
You thinking clamshell? What you thinking?
Well, apparently they separate. So now you could, maybe the second screen has its own little dock or whatever.
What? So there's a patent now? What's confirmed? What was
so it's a patent for a dual screen device. Where the screen, the top and the bottom separate from one another. So it's like a clamshell when it's together, looking like a big 3DS. But then they separate.
Then you put them together and they form one projector to project the stuff.
All right, but the last question I got, does this eliminate the docking of the home?
There's nothing here about a dock.
See, that's what I'm worried about. See, this is when they get too cute. I'm worried that they get too cute and they try to reinvent the wheel when they got the perfect form factor already. Yeah, I hope I'm wrong.
It could still do both things, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Hopefully I will be playing some Alan Wake at some point this week, and more Spider-Man, and of course Mario Wonder.
No doubt. Lord King, man of many masks. Where can the people find you? What you got going on, sir?
You can find me going to get gas dressed just like this in my Dickie suit. It's going to be crazy. First of all, I want to say thank you for David Jaffe for being as cool as you are.
Facts.
For showing up. And I never thought in a million years that I will be able to share airwaves with you. So the fact that you are better than I imagined. They tell people don't meet your idols. I'm so happy I met you.
When you look like me, you gotta have the personality, King. I appreciate it. Just saying.
But if anybody please go watch this, and y'all know that I'm not a crackpot. I know half the stuff that I'm saying. Yo, we did a good Shocktober.
Facts.
Listen, Halloween is coming up, and this is true facts. Listen, you got kids, please watch everything that they're eating. The trick-or-treating stuff, the days of the trick-or-treating is kind of dead. All right. So be very careful with who you get your candy from and who you go around and stuff like that. Watch your kids this Halloween. Watch your pets. Be safe. Be merry. Sharing this fun festivities. We do it in my house, and I just hope that y'all do it. But be safe when you're doing it, and please just watch the kids. Make sure the kids stay safe. You can find me on Twitter. It's King David OTW. It's not Lord King David. If you're looking for Lord King David, you're going to find somebody else. That's King David OTW on Twitter. Attic and I did a great Patreon additive this week. It was death battle. And we're doing a lot of that stuff for the Patreon to grow, for you guys to go over there. R&R with the Lords with Ty, myself, and Attic is in the Patreon. And we're adding stuff. We're going to add the roundtable to the Spider-Man spoiler cast there. And the same thing with the Mario Wonder spoiler cast. We're going to do an Alan Wake sit down with Sovereign, Attic. Attic is not going to be there. Sovereign, myself, I think Cog will probably be there. I don't know if he plays it. But I would love to get David Jaffe in on that one.
That'd be fun.
To throw up there so you guys can have some content. And Patreon is moving. We're moving. And this has been a great month, so hopefully next month is be even brighter. See y'all guys soon.
No doubt, you already know. Sorry, we got a couple more that super chats that snuck in.
Yep, we got Crazy Horse with the $10 super chat. The PS5 Blu-ray is signed into the PS5 Slim, so if your PS5 Slim breaks, you can't use that Blu-ray player with a new PS5 Slim. You need to buy another Blu-ray player.
Whoa!
Wow.
Like if that is the case, they need to rectify that. That would be crazy.
This is how you trade Blu-rays.
Stop it.
He's back, baby. You in trouble.
Then we have the $10 the Otaku $5 super chat. Where's the topic talking about Sega's biggest IP, Sonic, only selling 4,000 in a week in Japan when Mario Wonder did 635,000 in 3 days? Hashtag where the Sega fans at?
Yo, we got to get Evan Bourne out the bushes. He was talking wild, crazy.
I told him.
Some Sega fans did not agree with that Nintendo. So he's missing. All we see was the little boy with the feet emoji running around. So we got to go find that man. He was out here being blasphemous.
And condolences to our brother.
Yes.
Real
talk.
His grandma passed. And his mother was in a car accident. Please send your prayers out.
Love to him, He's been through a rough patch this morning. I saw the tweet. Salute.
And then we have Spartan661, $5 super chat. David Jaffe, do you know if the Yakuza show Jim Ryan where the fish like to sleep?
Haven't seen Jim Ryan yet. Haven't seen him in months. So.
Boy, if I had a mouth like that, I would be performing the cunnilingus on your mother.
Oh my God! Sunday,
back to you, I like that beat.
Then we got Nintendo Deal Talk. Wait, no. Then we have David Jaffe with the $2 super chat. Why don't baby Jesus love me?
I don't know. It makes me so sad.
Oh my God.
Jaffe, have you heard of a game called I Am Jesus Christ? It's coming out.
Yes, and I keep waiting for it to come out. I'm fascinated by it, but it's not out yet.
Yeah, it's not out yet.
Y'all look crazy.
Then we have Nintendo. Then we have Nintendo on the Otaku $5 super chat. They're never going to get rid of the hybrid model. Merging their home and handheld development onto one platform helped them immensely.
Yes, please.
Yeah, it is going to be hybrid, but I just think, I don't even know what's a next logical step for them. So going back to the 3DS dual screen in some way, shape, or form always just made sense. But again, Nintendo does things that don't necessarily make sense.
Just dock it into the home.
Then we have Spartan661 $2 super chat. Happy Halloween, everyone! Watch out for cars.
Yes, be careful.
Yeah.
We good. Look, everybody
we're
enjoy your Sunday. Again, the legendary Jaffe in the building. We'll be back next week. That's all I got. Again, since I love the attic. Oh, he's back. There we go.
Yeah, I passed out. I'm sorry.
Brother.
No,
brother.
it's fine. It's fine.
You had the medicine in you. I already knew. Like
that's what Robitussin does. It rub you up.
King did predict it, but I'm glad that you took the medicine because I know you've been feeling bad this whole weekend, brother. So don't even worry about it. We held it down.
I am sending you guys a level 1 game though, because I'm going back to bed.
Get some sleep, bro. No, I like how you popped up right at the end and then went back.
No, he heard it.
I heard you. I'm going back to sleep. Anyway, we up out of here. Enjoy your Sunday. Peace.
Peace.